All right. All right. All right. Cool.
All right.
So,
Okay, how's everybody doing out there? I'm doing all right. I just want to let everyone know about what's going on with my Eye of the Raging Storm thread and let everyone know what I have planned for NEC and stuff like that. Some of the things that I've got going on in my thread are mainly trying to promote the SNK scene by way of getting everyone that plays SNK games into one thread. All the experts, all the hardcore players, getting them into one thread so that we can share ideas, think about ways to make SNK big in majors, make it big at home, any way we can think of. And so that's mainly the purpose of the thread. And I took the idea of Alex Valla's RTSD thread, and I said, hey, why not do this for SNK games? And Valla told me, he said, hey, you could do that for an area that I'm not good at, and SNK games, the area's not strong. So I said, hey, I'll do that. And so I took the thread, and I decided to put up a lot of casuals that we've had going on where I am right now. And I've had a pretty good success. It's always among the top threads on SRK. And I'm trying to keep it that way. I'm trying to keep all the little drama, all the little stupid stuff. I'm trying to keep that out. So that's pretty much where I'm going with that. People have any type of questions also in regards to SNK games, I'm there to answer any type of questions. And, I want it to be a kind of open-ended thing like Valla's having with his Capcom games and SNK games. So that's where I want to go with that thread in particular. And we've got a lot of stuff that's actually about to happen. So it's not like we're going nowhere, because all I hear is, oh, you're bound to fail, you're bound not to do good, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, my inbox is practically almost full. We've got people buying the games like Samurai Shodown Tenka. They're buying Battle Coliseum. They're buying King of Fighters 11 based off of seeing, the casuals and stuff that I posted on the thread. They got them interested, and they're emailing me stuff asking me which one should I buy. It's great because they're actually buying the games. So I can't deny that it is having a lot of success that, I didn't think would happen really pretty quickly. In regards to NEC, for example, what we're doing is I'm trying to set up a bunch of SNK tournaments like Battle Coliseum, King of Fighters 11, and some other stuff. Set it up at NEC so that people can get to play that stuff and see how it's like in other places. And in order to make it a very big SNK event, what I'm doing is I'm hyping it up by having a big $160 money match between me and the Answer, who is the U.S. King of Fighters 11 champion. We're going to have a $160 money match to hype it up, and the winner is going to take the title for the throne. That's one way we're hyping it up. I'm also gathering all the people, some of the best SNK players from around the nation to NEC so that we can help promote it a lot more. And, we'll get people like C. Clayton, Cage Strike, and all those, Battle Coliseum people, and P Soul, and a bunch of other people from up north. Get them over there, and we'll have it's supposed to be really, really good. It's the way it's shaping up. I cannot wait until NEC. So that's what we're trying to go with that. We're trying to set up a lot of different things, a lot of different avenues. We have different, money matches going on, like, me versus the Answer, me versus Cage and Strike, me versus Duran in Battle Coliseum, a couple of different stuff like that. That's what we're trying to go with that. And in the meanwhile, I'm trying to juggle, like I say, about a good 50-something fighters, playing about Street Fighter, Third Strike, Alpha, everything like that, because at NEC I'm going to enter almost everything there. Just so I can try to be very diverse. And, just so people don't think, yeah, I'm mainly an SNK head, but I can play practically anything. So that's what we're trying to go with that. We're trying to make it pretty interesting and intriguing for everybody. And we're trying to get it all filmed, because if we get it filmed with the, tournament organizers' direction, it'll be great for everybody to see. Real high-level play, intense play. Number one, people want to see the money match between me and Oscar and King of Fighters 11, 1st to 15. So, I'm going to pay someone to record it if we can, and get it recorded and post it in my thread and get people watching it and stuff like that. And then, whenever we set up tournaments, because I'm trying to run all the SNK tournaments, get that filmed if we can, because it's going to be in the BYOC, which means mainly, more than likely, the film crew with NEC DVD probably not going to catch it, which, that's perfectly fine. I'm just happy we have a place to play and, run our games. So, I'm going to take it upon my initiative to actually, get that stuff filmed, get it taken care of, and, go from there and put it in the thread. And I've already talked to the organizer, and everything seems cool with it. He has no problem with it. And, for what I'm saying, I'm ready to go. It's a done deal. So I'm hoping y'all are enjoying reading the thread. I know there's times where it's, it's not much going on. But that's like anything. You're not going to have something going on all the time. But I'm going to stick with it, regardless of what people are saying, because it's something that, once again, I enjoy doing thoroughly. It's my pastime, my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to stick with it all the way through at NEC. And then I got further plans for that final round, 10, which, during that time I'm going to probably, come back on and talk about that. What's my latest plans for the next major? Now, on a side note to all this, I know y'all probably read about that Canadian X-Men vs. Street Fighter tournament. Well, I'm helping sponsor that tournament, and I recall talking about that on my last time I was on here. I'm helping sponsor a Canadian, practically country national X-Men vs. Street Fighter tournament, and we're hoping that the best players that come out of that are going to come meet the best FFA X-Men vs. Street Fighter players, Mega Man, DS, and Dogface. We're trying to get this all coordinated and set it up, and so if y'all see my name associated with that, yeah, it's not SNK, but once again, my big thing is I'm trying to make, whatever dreams, I'm trying to make dreams a reality. That's my big thing. If you got the means to do something, do it. And for me, this is my biggest dream, to make, SNK games and make other people's dreams come true. So I don't mind sponsoring and helping that type of thing. I'm glad to be a part of it, because it's my type of thing. On top of that, let's see what else. If y'all are somewhat following the McDonald's Gaming Championship thing, I'm sure there's a looming battle in Tekken that I'm sure a lot of the world will probably want to see. My bet is November 18th, when the McDonald's Super Championship is held, the finals for Tekken 5 are going to be Crow and JRA64. That's the way it's headed right now. They're both finalists for Tekken 5 to get all the prizes, and that's shaping up to be a pretty good final. So, I don't know. I'm trying to get some people to record it, because I'll be in Oklahoma for a tournament that time, helping run it. So I'm trying to get some people to record it, because I'm sure a lot of people would want to see that final. That's like Evo implications. First place Crow, third place, JR64. So I'm trying to get that set up so that we can get some things going there, and I know people would love to see that, me included. And I'm trying to take it and go with that. Other than that, I'm trying to think. Mainly, not much else to really talk about, other than I'm constantly discovering new things in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum and King of Fighters 11. Like Momoko, she has a new car throw where it's based off of her. It's based off of car canceling either her crouch C or anything that will enable you to go into her forward B series. If you car cancel crouch C in the forward B, you have to cancel one of the forward B twirls into her quarter circle back B or D command throw. If you do that at the right timing, doesn't matter if it's in a combo or out of combo, it will catch the opponent and it'll grab them, which presents a pretty unique mix-up with Momoko. And I don't know, there's probably one or two, maybe three Momoko users out there, but it adds a lot to her game. So that's just some things that you're gonna, within my thread, I'm gonna post a couple things like that. King of Fighters related, Battle Call Sim related, everything. Period. Anything I discover, for the most part, I'll post it up there for people to see. Just to garner interest, keep people interested, keep them motivated and stuff like that, so I can keep the scene going forward. Just those type of things that are going on. Let's see. Currently, right now, what else?
On the PlayStation 2 for hold on. Hold on for a second. I'm trying. Someone's trying to call in the radio station, but you're on it already. So hold on for a second. I'm gonna call them.
Okay.
All right. Hold on for a second.
Okay.
Please leave your message for 612.
Don't know what's going on with that. Hold on for 1 sec. Try it one more time.
Hello?
Hey, this is AlphaISM Radio. You called earlier?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Darky.
Oh, hold on. You got the radio still on in the background? You got to turn it off because it interferes with the radio. Okay.
Turn off the radio?
Yeah, you can't run the radio and be on it at the same time. It causes feedback.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. All right, is this fine?
Yeah, sounds good. Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota? All right.
Yeah.
And you are who?
My Shoryuken username is TarkinX.
Okay. All
Hey,
right.
what's up, man?
Hey,
What's on your mind?
is this that Darky?
Yeah, that's him.
Yep, that's me. What's up, man? I recognize you. You got the Sonic avatar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I like what you're doing. I mean, SFK scene is really, really small in America, and that's a lot of guts to be doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Like I say, I'm trying to get as much support as I can get for doing it. I'll take it. It's another reason I'm kind of straight business, a straight shot. If I got any BS in the thread, I'm quick to get on it because I have a vision of what I want to accomplish, and I'm going to stick through it the whole way through. And so if there's any people that are gonna threaten my vision, then I take it personal. Whenever Shinkensi posts, he's like, hey, don't take it personal. I'm like, well, I do because I'm gonna do whatever it takes to happen. And I mean, I'm putting my hard-earned cash into making this happen. I mean, time and time again, traveling, like I said, to NEC, I'm breaking my back to try to set stuff up, make stuff happen, lure people to be attracted to it. Once again, whether it's me money matching Oscar or whatever, I don't care. I want people excited. I want them to want to look into it and say, hey, this is interesting. And so, I mean, I'm breaking my back trying to come up with new ways, new ideas, all type of stuff, and I don't want it to be threatened by people that want to come in and troll. So, I had contacted Pride a couple times and told them about some issues I had because I don't want my vision to be, I don't want it to be all for naught. I mean, I don't want what I'm doing to go in vain because there have been plenty of people before me that have, from what I heard, tried this thing and have failed. And, I'm determined to not be just another statistic. I'm going to stick it through all the way to the end. Until whatever the end may be, I'm going to stick it through and make it happen. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking about coming to NEC this year. Trying to get a Greyhound bus there. Trying to figure out money because it's pretty short right now.
I hear you.
Got Samurai Showdown 2 there?
I can bring whatever you need to, whatever you want to play. I can bring it, or I can have somebody to supply it.
Yeah, because that's the only game I'm really good at. SNK game that I'm good at. I'm trying to get, play more SNK games, but right now it's just Samurai Showdown 2.
What system is Samurai Showdown 2 on?
Neo Geo arcade.
Oh, okay.
Neo Geo arcade, or like I say, for those people that don't want to spend $400 or $500 on a Neo Geo, they can get it on a modded Xbox. A modded Xbox will come on it. It's it's pretty accurate. I would say it's arcade perfect, but it's pretty sharp to it. They can get it on Xbox. So not that I'm advocating that, but once again, I'm trying to get people in any way possible. If they don't want to fork that type of money for a Neo Geo and the hardware's pretty old, I understand. Then go on, fork money down for modded Xbox, get it souped up, get the whole thing that has all the Neo Geo games on it, and there you go. Play it. You can play it right then.
So,
and you can play Samurai Showdown 2.
Has King of Fighters 11 been released in America yet?
No, it's supposed to hit in December. We've come up with a date in my thread, which is going to be December. And ironically, during the same time, it's going to hit Europe around that time. So we've got a chance to do a double whammy, hitting Europe and hitting the USA around that time. Now that you talked about that, that made me think of something else. I did contact Mr. Wizard in regards to trying to get King of Fighters 11 in the EVO, and he was saying mainly that we could do a U.S. versus Japan tournament, and I'm all for that. Setting that up, we can do that, no problem. He's saying as far as having King of Fighters 11 in EVO, he's saying in order for that to happen, we've got to have an established community, and then we also, they said if it's a hot game, they're going to check into it. King of Fighters 11 is a pretty hot game. It's just, because of the reputation I'm sure the SNK community has gotten, because of not showing up for tournaments or stuff like that, that's probably why he's saying that we got to develop a community. So what I'm doing is I'm starting small and going big. Anytime I find a tournament whatsoever, small or large, it does not matter. I'm promoting. I'm talking about it. I'm showing people it. I'm doing my equipment. I'm hooking it up. I'm letting them see it, play it, trying to make correlations to King of Fighters, Street Fighter, things, let them see, hey, it really ain't that different. No need to be scared. I'm doing all that stuff I can to promote it.
Yeah, one of the problems with the SNK scene is you got to import everything to be able to keep up with the competition. Tanka, King of Fighters 11, Battle Coliseum, you have to import all of those games. And people don't want to do that. They just want to, go to the game store.
Yeah, that's the truth. That was one of the issues that we were, because it couldn't be any more evident in the decision to try to take either Reload or Slash in the Evo. You got Slash, it's the latest version, but the policy is they want to have it a U.S. version or official copy. So they're going to take Reload. And we're rarely banking on King of Fighters 11 hitting stateside in December. That way, people can get access to it more. And that was an issue that Shinkitsu talked about. He was like, they were like some of the main reasons King of Fighters 11 and them or Street Fighter Third Strike and them are still around is you can go in any store and purchase it. You can go in anybody can go in any store and pick up a copy of either Tekken 5, Guilty Gear, Third Strike, CBS2, those games. Everyone can do it. And then another thing Mr. Wizard said is those games are sponsored. They're sponsored, yeah. So if we can get a community established, if we can get these games sponsored, if we can get these games into the United States, then hey, we can make this happen. And something we talked about, me and K4, was about how we think it's to our benefit to befriend the Guilty Gear community. Which, ironically, it's funny. I'm friends with Shinkitsu, obviously one of the best Guilty Gear players out there. He's, ironically, right now playing King of Fighters 11. We play with him in Houston. He's pretty good. Pretty solid guy as a whole, definitely.
Yeah.
He's playing
King of Fighters 11. What's great
11.
about the Guilty Gear? The game didn't sell well in America, yet it gets more turnout than games like Dead or Alive or N 5 or even Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, the
Taken too.
ironic thing, I guess, is that more or less I'm finding it more about it goes back to the arcade style people. These are the people that have already had this base for a long time. And mainly the fact with 11 is it's fresh, it's new, it has different graphics. The graphics have been changed, so that's attracting more people. The gameplay is easier. The controls are not as strict, so they can do a lot of the moves. It's easier to jump into. On top of that, it's more or less like Marvel. And the game is it has a Marvel feel to it. So that attracts people from that aspect. It's a completely different style of King of Fighters. You can tag and your tag-in combos and all that different type of stuff that wasn't the case in a lot of previous years past. And so it's catchy. It catches people's attention. And what Kitsu was saying was for whatever tournaments I'm throwing all the stuff in, focus on King of Fighters 11 because there's more arcades for King of Fighters 11 in the States than there are for Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, Samurai Shodown, or any of those others. And that's a very valid point. So in order to get SNK games mainstream, first of all, let's focus on the one that's gaining the most attention, and that is King of Fighters 11 right now. So we can focus on every tournament like NEC. Make sure there's a King of Fighters 11 tournament. Final round 10. Make sure there's a King of Fighters 11 tournament. T7 or the X-Number Street Fighter Canadian tournament that I'm going to probably be at. Make sure there's a King of Fighters 11 tournament. Once again, if we can establish community by picking up all these places, then, hey, the Evo staff is going to only have to take notice. They're like, wow, King of Fighters 11 tournament here. King of Fighters 11 tournament here. King of Fighters 11 tournament here. They're going to keep saying it everywhere. And all I'm doing is just establishing somewhere, everywhere I go. I go somewhere, I'm going to be who I am, be ecstatic, as you'll see, just how I am. I love what I do. I'm going to be there, I'm going to make friends with everyone, shake hands, teach them stuff, show them everything I want to do, play them, have a blast, and just keep taking that everywhere I go with my stuff. And like I said, that's going to work better for me. It's going to work better for the community. It's going to work better for everybody.
I just got a question.
They'll all be able to work together and make, help a community grow. And that'll help us reach the final goal.
Hello?
Hello?
I got a question. What exactly is Neo Geo Battle Coliseum?
Oh, wow. All right, let's see here. I got my whole little Bible on this.
Give me the abridged version of it.
Yeah, I'll give you the abridged version on it. Okay, I know you've heard of Capcom Fighting Evolution, correct?
Capcom what?
Capcom Fighting Evolution?
You mean Capcom Fighting Jam? POS? Yeah, I heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, that, exactly. Well, since Capcom came up with that, SNK said, you know what? We're going to do our own version, and we think we can do it better. We looked at some stuff that y'all did wrong, we're going to correct it. So what SNK decided to do was, right after that, they decided, we're going to make Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, which practically is SNK's version of Capcom Fighting Jam. Done a lot better, and for our reasons, I can say why. Not just because I'm being biased. I can just literally break down why. They said we're going to pull all our mainstream characters out from our mainstream fighting games and other games, that are not fighting, like a Capcom pulling out Red Earth stuff, and we're going to make them into a 2-on-2 fighting game as well. What Neo Geo Battle Coliseum did that Capcom Fighting Evolution did not do. Man, it had better backgrounds, flashier intro, flashier everything. Look at that, just took time into the game. Mainly, number one, they had more characters. More characters. There's, in Battle Coliseum, there's, give or take, 37 to 40 characters. And what, Capcom Fighting Evolution or Capcom Fighting Jam is like, what, 20? That maxes the game out real quick for 20 characters. On top of that, they added a lot more in detail. They made an actual tag system. Capcom Fighting Jam it's like, you can't tag. You switch characters in between rounds, which is strange, really strange how that works. So that kind of worked as disadvantage. Battle Coliseum has more replayability. There's more things to do, more galleries and stuff like that, which Capcom Fighting Jam just seemed like it was just rushed. Rushed because like Capcom just didn't even really care. Kind of like, hey, let's just give them copy and paste. And Battle Coliseum, it's like they are literally, on the engine from SVC, which we all agree was the POS. They reworked it all together. They, finished it, put a final touch on it, took out a lot of the broken stuff from SVC, ripped apart Geese from SVC, made them like really weak, and then put together a pretty well polished game. The reason it's not getting the due or getting the respect it deserves, from what I've already picked up mainly. Number one, when people first saw it, they thought it was SVC2, which since they're associated with SVC, meaning it's not going to get this right due. I remember Saban saying it's SVC2, and it really ain't. It's a much reworked, a lot better engine, plays a lot more fluid, has a lot more stuff there that SVC really didn't have. And even the top tiers, which me, North Carolina, the people who are still playing it pretty hardcore, we're practically revising it. The top tiers can still be beaten. And that's, like any fighting game. In any fighting game, even your top three, your Yun, Chen, and Chun, if you know your character well enough in the game, you can still beat them, even if your character is bottom tier or not. I mean, if not, then how come you win Texas Showdown 6 on Third Strike with Ryu? I mean, come on. Ryu is not top tier. So someone has to know the character really well. Second reason why Battle Coliseum doesn't gain the recognition I think that it needs to gain is because King of Fighters 11 practically killed its interest. King of Fighters 11 is, if you want to look at it, a faster game, has 3-on-3 tagging instead of 2, and it has, more Marvel-type stuff in it that Battle Coliseum doesn't have. King of Fighters, people can relate to quicker that have been playing King of Fighters. So even for the SNK people, there's a debate in the SNK scene for Battle Coliseum versus King of Fighters. Mainly because I would say Street Fighter people have an easier time getting into Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. For one simple reason. Hyper Hop does not exist. Hyper Hop mainly is if you're going to watch King of Fighters video, you see them doing short jumps with shadows. The short jump with shadows is called hyper hopping. It is not short jumping. It's not CVS2 where you're short jumping. No, it's not the same thing. Not even close. In Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, that does not exist, which means we're back to old school mind games, old school tactics, all that type of stuff. There's in the speed, and you're able to tag, and then able to do tag combos and stuff like that. That's the Battle Coliseum, what it is. It's just many different characters, which means a lot of different replayability, a lot of ways to mix and match and try these different things. King of Fighters 11, you got hyper hop, and that dominates the game. If you do not hyper hop at King of Fighters 11, you're not playing it to a competitive level. You've got to hyper hop in King of Fighters 11 to survive. If you normal jump, super jump, regular jump like you would in a Street Fighter or Battle Coliseum, in King of Fighters 11, things become way too easy to read for any seasoned King of Fighter veteran. It's like slow motion. If you're going to normal jump, when I know where I can do anti-air or anything that can just snuff you out of it. It's just little things like that that's dividing the SNK scene, and even why some SNK players have not even supported Battle Coliseum as much as they should have, because it's not KOF. And, people say, should we give Battle Coliseum hyper hop? No, I don't think you should. Because if you give in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum hyper hop, then it becomes KOF. And it is a separate game all by itself. A separate universe. You have characters in Battle Coliseum that could not be in King of Fighters. Why? Because the timeline is totally separate. Battle Coliseum, you got people like Hanzo and Fuma, who are from, the ancient times, and Hamaru, who could not be in King of Fighters because King of Fighters is more of a current timeline. So, you take King of Fighters storyline-wise, expand it to the entire SNK universe, then you have Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. So, I would not want them to put hyper hopping into Battle Coliseum. I like it how it is. It's great. It appeals to the more old school style. And I enjoy both playing King of Fighters 11 and Battle Coliseum equally the same. So I don't want people to put hyper hop in it. One of my friends here, Evortion, he can't play Battle Coliseum anymore because it doesn't have hyper hop. He's just been seasoned by hyper hop in King of Fighters 11, and he loves it to death. And once again, it's a debate: hyper hop or no hyper hop.
All right. the Neo Geo Battle Coliseum has that been released in the States?
Yeah, but it practically has. It has. I mean, all your main core characters from, like I said, World Heroes. You got Ansel Puma and Mudman. You got from Art of Fighting. You got Ryo, who is now Mr. Karate.
Hold on, I
the
think
guy looks like Ken.
I think you misunderstood me. I was saying is the Neo Geo Battle Coliseum has that been released in the States?
No, it's gonna get in on Xbox 360. That's what they're gonna do. Well, to me, I think it's a pretty good move because then they can tone it down big or whatever if they want some more, have an arranged mode, and then we get the option to play online. Which means for me, that's just beautiful because in the States right now, I'm gonna be up front. The major players for King of Fighters 11 stay in the following places: Denton, Texas, me, North Carolina, C. Clayton, Cajun Strike, the Triad, those people. New York City, Jerron, and he kind of, from what I hear, doesn't even really play it anymore. California, you got the answer who used to play it, and then he's some guy he's trying to set me up with. I mean, and in New York City, you also got John Badwolf. I mean, those are the hot spots for a Falco team right now. So if we get it on Xbox 360, that's gonna be great because then I can play online with C. Clayton or John Badwolf without having to shell a $300-400 ticket round trip to fly to North Carolina, fly just to get myself some good Neo Geo Battle Coliseum competition. So they're going to release Battle Coliseum, and we're talking about another game on Xbox 360 that they've just changed what they're going to do, and that's going to really help, in my opinion. Once again, because online is going to let people see how good it is. I'm sure they're going to get on there. And I don't really, get online to play the game. I'd rather just play in person and travel, but I'll call Tim. That'll be great. I'll love getting online, helping people, and people ask me questions. I'll be able to get online and play with them. And I'll make it a lot easier for me, a lot easier for everyone. So,
I have a question.
huh?
Have there been any old school SNK tournaments? Because I know Samurai Showdown was really popular during the Street Fighter Mortal Kombat days.
Mm-hmm. There's another. They have a lot of collections that they're releasing right now. I like Capcom, compilations like Alpha. So what they have slate. I'm gonna just tell you what's being released and what they're getting ready to release. Right now, they've already released Art of Fighting collections, Art of Fighting 1, 2, 3. All this was around the time that Street Fighter 2 came out. You also have Last Blade collection. That was still around the time that Street Fighter 2 came out. Last Blade collection is a pretty pathetic port because it has a lot of slowdown, which, that's why I'd rather just first person. You also have King of Fighters Orochi collection, which is practically 95, 96, and 97. Those are, like I say, 95, 96, 97 are on the Super Street Fighter 2 days. That's old school as well. Full play. You've got 94 Repouts by itself, which is it's like an anniversary edition version of King of Fighters 94. Redone graphics, high quality graphics.
Wait,
graphics
that's
wow.
not what I mean.
What?
But what I was trying to say was, if there have been any old school tournament for SNK? I mean, like back in the day, like for Fatal Fury Special, anything like that?
Oh yeah. There's they held a lot back in the day, and they're still doing some now. You talk to Middle Kick and Crazy, they're on top of the most game beginners getting the most play right now. That's old school for SNK is Fatal Fury Special. That's an extremely popular game right now. There's still tournaments going on right now about it in Europe and everywhere. And they're setting them up in the States. There's a huge Fatal Fury Special fan base that's going on. And right now with the road being set to Battle Archive coming out with the Fatal Fury 1, 2, and Special, that just rejuvenated the old school Fatal Fury scene. So I would jump to get more information on that. Surely jump into that Fatal Fury Special thread and find FGD. And like I say, they've got stuff constantly going on. They're constantly setting stuff up. As far as everything else old school, like Samurai Showdown 2 or anything, I've searched pretty hardcore to find it, stuff like that. I have it. So the avenue I'm thinking about, because I want to lure all SNK players to help me out, support me, I'm considering having, your new school tournaments, like, 11, Battle Cross, Tech, etc., that people can play readily because they have PlayStation 2. And then your old school tournaments for, your Fatal First Special, your Smackdown 2, your, any of your type of old school stuff, your World Heroes maybe even, just for, for fun, whatever. I'm talking about having that so that I can cater to all types of SNK gamers. Because you got the old school ones, just like you got the old school Street Fighter people, the ST, the Alpha, and then you got the Third Strike. You got that whole wave of people. So why segregate a certain type of people? And, when I can try to get them all at once. But, yeah, there's not many old school tournaments anymore, which is an avenue I'm looking into pursuing pretty deeply myself.
Hold on.
Pretty hardcore.
Hey, you're breaking up, Darkies. I think your connection is dying.
All right. Let me see. See if I can get to a better place to click.
Now you're extremely muffled now.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
You're extremely muffled.
All right.
Are you on the cell phone or what?
Yeah, I'm on cell phone.
Okay. All right, that's a little bit better.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's something I'm considering pursuing, getting old school tournaments as well as new school, and where we can cater to the people who play Fatal First Special and the SD players, or the new school King Fighters 11, and, Samurai Shodown Tenkyo, those type of people. I'm looking at doing that. I'll keep you posted. I'm talking to a guy named Les Shujin online, just a more old school SNK player, to set up a lot of SNK type of tournaments, old school. So that, I would love to have something like, put Samurai Shodown 2, put stuff that, I know people just get people shivers just to get them.
Yeah.
To do that type of stuff. And FYI, have Evortion represent Team Unblockable while we're at it up there. So, but I'm definitely looking into doing that type of stuff, and here's another thing, just for a random tidbit. While everyone knows that the King of Fighters 11 is they call the Marvel of KOF, I think there's one other game of KOF that beat people to the Marvel punch way ahead of time. King of Fighters 2000. King of Fighters 2000, you got some pretty crazy Marvel type stuff on that. You got your strikers, which are your assists. You got 100% combos that are just like crazy, like Marvel. You can see some type of combo video all the time with 100% combos, and it looks like a Marvel game. I mean, you fight it like you play it like Marvel, literally. I guess, and then you pick the best assist, and your best assist, your whole strategy is based around how you're going to trap people with your assist, how are you going to set up the infinite combo with your assist, who's going to get the first hit first, and that type of stuff. It's based. That's the whole strategy of King of Fighters 2000. So I would argue King of Fighters 2000 beat 11 to being claimed as the Marvel game first. I would argue that first. King of Fighters 2001, we all know that's kind of crap. But there are some people out there that do like that game, King of Fighters 2001. Only reason I like it is because Kula has an infinite combo. That's it. But that, 2001 was a pretty, that was the time when old SNK separated, and you got SNKP and a Korean company, Eagles, working together to try and resurrect SNK back into the scene. So, 2001 was kind of a turning point for the series, for the whole group. But, you got some of the best characters like Angel, Mei Lee, Vanessa, you got all them. So, I'm kind of happy that happened. So 2002, it's a pretty good game. That's another debate by itself. 2002
have you
and
gotten
98.
into contact with Kazi? Because I know he did something like this, like made a website about SNK, the competitive side of it.
Yeah, I've tried to contact a lot of these people. Like I PM'd him, I PM'd him, I PM'd Neopenny. So I'm just constantly waiting. I'm sending them a lot of emails, and I'm trying to find their sites. I guess something I'm doing, in the morning, way before I start posting on SRK. I'm real big on, doing research on stuff. So I look into all that stuff. I try to contact these people. I let them know what I'm doing. you know, and I just got to keep trying to contact them because they're not giving me anything right now. So, I mean, like I say, I'm not going to give up. Don't get me wrong. I'm in this for the long haul. So I'm just going to keep going at it and keep learning for whatever I can find to spark people's interest and keep people involved.
Yeah.
I know you saw that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you saw that. Oh. I know y'all saw that Garo 2 or whatever they want to call it, pictures that I posted in the thread a little while back, correct? It had old Terry from Garo, an old droopy-looking Blue Mary, and they're on a motorcycle. And then another picture was shown. I mean, it looked pretty legit to me, showing about Garo 2 being made. And that's something that I'm thinking will be very interesting to, of course, consider. Garo 2 is going to be something that is going to attract a lot of people because Garo, many say Garo is the third strike of SNK. So with Garo 2, it's going to excite a lot of people because the gameplay is pretty unique. It's got just defense. It's got many different type of things that remind people of the third strike, the parry style. And it's been a while since they come up with a sequel for Garo, like Third Strike. It's been on a good 9 years at least, almost 8, 7, for a sequel for Garo. It's been a while. So whenever they come up with that, I mean, it'll be regenerated. Third Strike people, I'll be able to lure them into something else. They'll be able to play Garo and say, hey, you know, it's okay. It's not Street Fighter 4, but we can do it for now. And, you know, that's an avenue I'm looking at pursuing in that regard. Not like, once again, I'm looking at every way possible I can do to get SNK gamers to play. I don't care if you're casual, hardcore, or not. Whenever I say I want hardcore people in the thread, that's mainly because I'm business in the thread. I mean, if you're casual, yeah, you can read it and offer suggestions, that's fine, but I want to limit all the play going on in the thread. I mean, like, once again, I don't want to risk what I'm trying to accomplish going down the drain because the thread isn't getting closed. So all that play stuff, like I say, try to please just leave it out of the thread. You can do that elsewhere. General discussion or something. We're trying to all work together, make something happen in my thread, and that's the focus I'm taking with it.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of SNK people that like SNK, but they're usually the ones that like the storyline. Do you think they could get into the competitive scene? I mean, is there any way?
Yeah, see, that's another thing I'm looking at because I know that is what hurts the SNK community. I know that hurts them as a whole. A lot of the people, the otaku fanboys, people that like to dress up as Kyo, don't like to play as Kyo. Those are the people that hurt the scene, in my opinion, very badly because it contradicts totally what I'm trying to accomplish. You got a couple of hardcore people like me, like The Answer, those people that have been playing hardcore since day one. And you got people at these otaku anime con conventions that they just dress up and, yeah, they don't play as Turtlevic as Brazilians, whatever, but they just like to look. It's like the Star Wars. They just dress up as the Star Wars people and they don't care about the game. They care about the storyline. What I'm looking at to attract even these people into it is this. I've already gone to SNK Capcom and I've already been told not to do that. Because, for obvious reasons. I mean, we run into those kind of people. And, I mean, they're there abound.
You went to SNK Capcom?
Yeah, SNK Capcom. It's a site.
Storyline. They're not really competitive.
Yeah, it's mainly a site for people who are, like you say, it's notorious for having people who are into the storyline, notorious for having people that are not into the gameplay. They rather talk about the storyline of the saga of Ash Crimson, or the, what he's going to be like in his next picture, or who's Kyo's favorite color, or who has the biggest tits, or, whatever, Elizabeth Mai, or whatever. And I mean, while there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to dog that, but at the same time, in the big picture, it's hurting us, because we need more hardcore gamers. And the avenue I'm looking at doing to gain people more interested is, instead of neglecting this community, like most people do, neglect them and, shove them off the side and talk bad about them, I'm actually going to show up to these places with my equipment, ready to promote, ready to show these people and teach them stuff, like they're my own children. Instead of, show up, murder them, and they're just like, I'm better than you. I mean, come on, that's no ego boost to me. That's not going to help me anyway whatsoever. I want to show up there, as I did like the McDonald's Game Championship. I know people are there for Tekken. I know they're there for Guitar Hero. I know they're there for everything else but SNK games. I showed up there. I got at least 20 to 25 people intrigued, getting ready to come to my gatherings, wanting to know more, emailing me, just because I took the simple time of day to talk to them about it, be interested, listen to them, treat them like a human being, show them and play with them. And I mean, show my ego off to the side. I could have went in there saying, yeah, I'm Dark Geese, I'm going to kill all y'all. No. I mean, that's not the way to do it. I just went in there humble, ready to talk to people, trying to get them interested, because as a whole, I'm trying to help everyone be on the same page. I mean, so I can't go in there, with this bravado, like, yeah, I'm the best SDK, I'm going to kill y'all, and y'all ain't going to do nothing because all y'all are scrubs, otaku fanboys. No. I got to come in there saying, hey, how can I get these guys to convert, or not more or less convert, be willing to try to play it, just so I go down, and do whatever I need to do in order to attract these people. And there's anime cons everywhere. So, I mean, I've got opportunities. And, once again, a main reason why I'm not going to give up what I'm doing. I'm putting my hard-earned money into trying to make this happen. I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes. What y'all see me post in the thread is only a small percentage of what I'm doing. So, I mean, I'm going to these anime conventions. I'm taking time out of my own day, sometimes out of work, just so I can make these things and talk to these people and garner more interest and direct them to the thread. Matter of fact, a lot of people that post in the thread, believe it or not, guys, are from SNK Capcom. Can you believe that? Yeah, I believe it. It's true. A lot of people that just started posting just because I took the time out to go there and talk to them in SNK Capcom. And, they got my message. They saw where I was trying to come from. So they decided, I'm going to show up. I'm going to register on Shoryuken, and I'm going to support this guy. Because he took the time out to come and talk to us on SNK Capcom. And, yeah, we know he's hardcore. You can tell. He's real hardcore. Probably to kill us all. But, he's, understanding. He's trying to help us out. His approach is not like he's being condescending. And, they understood that, and it's paid dividends. It's paid a lot of dividends. I've got new people, once again. New people are buying these games, even though they're imports. Even though they're imports, I got people importing the games right now. They're importing it.
Have you tried NeoGeo.com?
They're buying them. They're buying it like Play Asia. Every day should I buy this game? Should I buy this game? Should I buy this one? Should I buy this one? I mean, I guarantee you by the time I go in the morning to check my SRK email, 2 or 3. Hey, should I buy this game? Should I buy this one? Which one? I'm going to buy this today. What should I do? Or can you critique this vid for me? Like I say, I want them to feel like they can ask me anything. Even though, yeah, I know I've got a pretty big reputation. I don't want anyone to feel like they are I'm unapproachable. I want people to know I'm right there with you. We got to work all together to make this happen. So any question you ask me, I will answer. And people who ask me questions, I don't care how little it is, don't think it's stupid, I'll get back to you immediately. The moment I see it, I shoot you right back. Because I want you to know, hey, I'm here for you. Just like, I hope y'all are here for me, helping us work. Because I cannot do this by myself. We all need to be on the same page to make this work.
Yeah, have you tried NeoGeo.com? That they have the most members. Yeah.
Yep, been there too. I've been there. I've been there. Rochinagi.com. I've been to Bloodsports.net. I'm still finding places to hit them up, small as they are. I'm even, talking about it on Team Sidewinder.net, and I'm a moderator on that place. I'm hitting, talking about it there. I'm trying to get as many different people as possible. I mean, yeah, it's paying dividends. And, okay, I'm not going to lie. Every now and then, yeah, I do run into some jerks, as I'm calling, that try to make my life, a living hell. Just being a dick on it, when I'm just trying to accomplish something. I'll run into that. But, that's a small price to pay in regards to, what I'm trying to accomplish. So, yeah, I've tried NeoGeo.com, and the things I've heard about that place is it's more or less a collector site now. And, yeah, I mean, people more collect and trade on NeoGeo.com. But once again, remember, you've got people there that play. I mean, if they collect and trade, that means they're interested. So why abandon that population? Why abandon it? Why not hit everybody, period? And you never know what you can get. So with me and Kingdom was talking about why appeal to the population at the McDonald's Gaming Championship when they're there for Tekken, Guitar Hero, and NCAA. I'm like, man, people are people. It don't matter who you are. People are going to be people. If they're there for games, then guess what? I'm sure and especially if it's Tekken, surely then I can, go from a fighting game a general fighting game avenue. And I got people from that. Just showing in the case for King of Fighters 11, I got people interested. Whoa, new fighting game. What is this? Who? Can we play it? Dude, I want that game. Oh, just from a general point of view, you get people who are into it. I don't have to say, well, blah, 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 and give them a whole history on SNK games. I can just go from a basic, general point of view. Like I'm an average gamer like anyone else. And at that avenue, I come at it. When I, show up to these places trying to promote, I don't go at it like I am the man for the SNK. Like people would know. I come at it, pretty cool, laid back. They wouldn't even know I'm Dark Geese. Matter of fact, they don't until they hear my name called. They're like, ooh, who's this guy? They don't even know who I am. A lot of them, they may not even know, that's fine. I don't want them to be intimidated by me and say, that's that Dark Geese guy. Watch out. No. I want to be like, hey, I'm just an average guy, just like you, man. Just look at me like you would everyone else. I'm just trying out here to have fun and play like you and, be cool. And it works because, once again, I've got people constantly, all the time, I've got people that I'm responding to, be it from all the different type of SNK forums in general, period. Every day I've got my Shoryuken inbox is practically full. So I'm liking the responses I'm getting. I'm grateful for it, and I'm gonna keep chugging my money, traveling anytime I can, be it in country or out of the country. Whatever I gotta do to make things happen, whether that's going to Mexico and putting money to help, some people who may need money in Mexico come over to the United States to play in some tournaments. I mean, I don't care. I'm thinking all kinds of stuff here, guys, so we can rejuvenate it and, make it just take off. Maybe people see a whole other thing that they may not have seen before.
Yeah, speaking about that, I've heard there's a lot of really good Asian and Mexican single fighter players, but they're really spread out. There are not a lot of organizations. Do you think there's any way to
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could definitely tell you about that. That's a fact. Which, that's the main reason whenever we get people that tell me, even if they're man, you should quit because it's not going to go anywhere. Well, okay. My response to them is, if I quit, like the last one standing, trying to make this thing happen. If I quit, what else is there? Otaku fanboys, which we've already discussed. They're not competitive in the game. There's no organization there. Only organization there is for anime cons. People who will play the game, they got some skill, but there's no organization. They just want to play for fun, kick back. They're not driven by anything. So, yeah, that's a lot of places. Believe it or not, I mean, that's the way it is in California, too. You got Arcade Fire and K4 talking about that particular situation. Well, they've got a bunch of their friends. They're pretty good, really good. Beat hard on them, some of them they're saying. But they lack organization. They don't want to gather together and play. And they can't get them to even come play at their house. They'd rather just play with their friends and kick it. And, that's not going to get anything done. It's not. It's too casual. It's way too casual. Which, I can get on a soapbox about super casualness by myself. How that's hurting the whole 2D genre. Because you got people that would much rather jump into something like Dead or Alive 4 than spend time learning something like Guilty Gear or something like that, And once again, I'm not knocking Dead or Alive. Don't get me wrong. I'm a 2D fighting game enthusiast. I'm a fighting game enthusiast, period. If this is a fighting game, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna try to play it. Period. So Dead or Alive, yes, I'm learning how to play Dead or Alive. I am. I take it upon myself to make sure I do not give up, even if things are not going as smoothly as I hope, because I know there ain't nothing left. No one's trying to organize anything for SK. Everybody's too lazy. Either don't have enough money, or they don't care, or they just want to play casually. So there's nothing left. So I mean, I take it upon myself to make sure that I stick this through to the end, because if not, people who have hope in this, you know, like Target says, you know, I like what you're doing. You know, if I were to give up right now, then I just let him down too. If I give up, I just let down a lot of people. So I'm not gonna be selfish either and just say, oh, I'm just gonna quit. No. Number one, I'm not a quitter. Quitters never win.
I guess that doesn't apply to the phone.
Lost him?
Yeah, I mean, either he lost a signal or his phone died. So, I'm gonna wait here a second from the call back.
Okay.
So, you're into the older Samurai Showdown games?
Well, I'm trying to get to all sorts of fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly play Capcom games, but I'm trying to spread out to other games as well.
Have you thought about taking up Guilty Gear?
Guilty Gear, yeah, I thought of it. I don't have the money right now. So I'm trying to go from my way up. So start from the older games and go to the newer games.
That's nice. I mean, well, my whole point of it is, you know, as far as the fighting game community is concerned, and I said this last night, so it bears repeating though. If you are serious about supporting the scene and you want to see the scene grow, then you need to support the games that are currently being supported, you know, currently being released, you know, like King of Fighters 11. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, that includes other games like Guilty Gear, Virtual Fighter, all the games that are currently being developed. Not to say that we gotta stop playing all the games we all know and love, but if we want to see the community grow, then we need to embrace other games. I think that the problem with not just the SRK community, no, it's with the fighting game community in general. They're so fragmented.
Yeah, they try to stick with their own game, just play one game.
Right. They play only one game, and then they surround themselves with people that play the same game. And then, but it's kind of funny though, because it's got to the point where they identify a particular type of personality with the game. Like, you know, Guilty Gear players are supposedly cosplayers and, you know, dressing up as their characters and all that stuff. I don't know who started that rumor. You know, I mean, so. I think that people need to just, if they're serious about growing the community, they need to embrace all of the games that are, you know, that not all of them, but all the current games as well as the games that they already play. You know, I think that it's great that King of Fighters 11 and it's coming out next, here in a month and a half or so, on PlayStation 2, and then. A possibility of the Battle Coliseum game on Xbox 360, and that's good though, because Microsoft has proven to be very supportive of the fighting game community, at least as far as Dead or Alive community, Dead or Alive is concerned. And I wouldn't be surprised if they start holding tournaments for, you know, some of the games that they have on the system and on Xbox Live Arcade. You know, like. You know, the most recent being Ultimate Combat 3.
Hyper fighting.
Yeah, and hyper fighting. And I think they're going to continue with that. I think we're going to see some other games appear on there in a short time. I think that Super Turbo will eventually get on there. And I mean, it's just a matter of showing our support where we need them, you know. Instead of having 20 tournaments a year, you know, 20 little tournaments, not little, but we can combine our resources to make a bigger tournament, you know. And I mean, that's why I think it needs to be done. Is it being done? No, you know. So until that happens, I don't see the community really growing. I think it's going to just stagnate and eventually the community will kind of will wither away because people are getting older, you know, and they're moving on with their
no
lives.
one new coming in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, like I was talking to Alex, you know, like, hey, you know, we ain't getting any younger, aren't we? You know, being 27, 28 years old, you know, 30s knocking on the door, you know, and we don't have any really new blood to, you know, so until we get some new blood in there, nothing's gonna improve. So that's my 3 cents in the matter.
Yeah,
you're right.
To add on that, that's one of the main reasons I'll hit the majors, you know, where I know CBS, you know, the majors where the major games are going to be played. I'll hit that, and main goal is just to try to get tournaments there. Because, you know, I could, even though the people are there for the big games, I mean, they're gamers too. So if they see these other games played, I mean, I've they'll want to play the game too. I was at Showdown in the BYOC room while Third Strike finals were like going on. When those, like, you know, Alex Valle versus Hubert Up, and I was luring all kind of people in there that had never seen the game, were skeptic about it because of, you know, reasons I discussed about in my last interview. They're like, oh, it's King of Fighters. Okay, it means the graphics suck. You know, that type of stuff. Bad reputation. And I was like, well, hey, man, you know, that's cool. Would you know, we're going to play it here. You know, you can watch it or play it. It's up to you. Do you mind? And yeah, sure. So we played it and got a lot of people who turns people to believers just by showing them the game, you know, watching them play it in life. And like, hey, you know, and they actually wanted to try it. And, you know, I had some, so all those people are my big supporters now, believe it or not. I mean, the people who, you know, were against it, you know, now they're my big supporters just because, you know, I show up. I take the time to do that. You know, I'm at the major. They know it's not going to be a major tournament, but yet I'm still trying to, you know, spark the attention to exactly what you said at these events to get more people looking other ways. I mean, I figure now, hey, if we can get Kinsu, who is, you know, like I say, the best chip player, arguably right now, in Guilty Gear. I mean, he stopped playing Guilty Gear right now. He's not playing anything else but King of Fighters 11. I mean, you want to talk about a big advocate? That's a very big advocate for us right there. I mean, he's on our side the whole way, trying to get King of Fighters 11 in majors. So, I mean, if we can do that type of stuff, I'm sure we can get other people in. Now, whether they're going to get in or not, you know, like the Vyers or not, I've come to the conclusion after, you know, reading thread where K-Force put up, you know, it would be good to get a lot of OGs to come to their cause, but if they don't, you know, it's okay. It's okay. We understand. As Vyas said in that particular thread, in which it said why new people won't play, you know, some of the new games, or people won't play some of the new games in the U.S., he said that it's not the job of people to follow him. And, you know, he's right. Yeah, he's an OG, you know, he's up there. It's like celebrity, you know, role model. People want to be like you. They want to do what you do. But, you know, they don't have to follow you. Meaning if he wants to choose to not play SNK games, the rest of the United States should not just do that just because he's doing that. In other words, everybody needs to have their own mind. They don't need to just copy everything they see, and that gives them, you know, a whole different ball game. We got so many Justin Wong style players, you know, when people should really just play how they fit. You know, what if that fits them? Then they should do that. Because, like I say, I'm just getting into the big games like Third Strike and them personally. And when I was at Houston Regionals, I got a chance to see Issei, guy that got second in Evo Third Strike. I got to see him up close and personal. And I tell you what, from personal experience, he was by far the craziest Third Strike player I've ever seen in person. Make no mistake about it. Issei was the real deal. It's funny, you watch that stuff on Max Vids, you know, this is different perspective. You can see all that on Max Vids, and okay. You've seen it 50 times, it's boring. Been there, done that, you know. It's like you see the typical Kid Chun match in First Strike 50 times. But if you see that particular player in person, like an Issei, it'll blow you away. It will blow you away because you'll be like, man, I didn't even know that existed. And we're talking Third Strike. Game has been out 7, 8, 9 years. And he did some stuff I never even remotely knew you could do. He didn't have a clue. Stuff he was doing with Young. It was retarded. How he was just Yeah, it was sick, some of the stuff he was doing. So I would encourage people, if anything, to, even for your particular games, try to go to all these different majors, just so you can see these people in person. Because, yeah, you may know what they're doing in the match vids, and you can replicate it perfectly. But once you see, like, the Justin Wong or that type of person play in person, or, live, so it won't sound redundant, you will truly understand why they are a top player. It'll make all sense in the world. Because there'll be a lot of stuff that the match vids won't show you. And, I mean, people just, they copy some of that stuff too much. They don't think for themselves. When I think personally everyone should think for themselves. And that's one of the things I pride myself on. I say I don't follow the book. I write the book. In other words, everything I see on match vids, etc., I use that as a guide for how I'm going to play. I don't use it as a be-all, end-all. I use it as saying, okay, all right, other experiences, etc., but I use it to strengthen my style of play, how I determine how I play, so that, I'm not your typical cookie-cutter wash such and such. Because if you want to look at it, guys, from this perspective, what copy of anything in general is better than the original? If you take an original copy of anything, an original statue, you make a copy of that statue, are you telling me the copy is better than the original? Which one do you think will be more? The copy of the statue or the original? I think the original is going to be. So, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad to copy Justin Wong's style. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying use it to strengthen your style of play. Don't just copy that and say, okay, now I'm going to be the next Eric Paul. Not really. Not really. There's only one original. You're going to have to do stuff on your own if you want to separate yourself from the mold, or else you're going to be just like everybody else. So, I mean, that's, my thing on that. And just some tidbits, strategical tidbits to think about. People may call your style whack, don't worry about that. Like I say, my friend Ryan, JR64, they called his style in Tekken whack. Whack, unorthodox, different. Yeah, I mean, come on, look, he's best player, one of the best players in Tekken in the world. So you can't argue with what he's doing. You can't. And I guarantee you right now, he's already telling me he's got people that are already trying to jock and ride and do what he wants to do and copycats. That's just how it works. Once you get in that position, people want to follow you. But he got in that position by doing his own thing. He didn't copy anybody, really, and just straight copy it. No, he did his own thing. He's got a lot of his own stuff to this day that I refuse to tell anyone that's going to separate him from the Gen Master. That's going to separate him from the Justin Wong. That's going to separate him, without a doubt, from any other top player. And if you look at top players in general, you'll notice that. They've got stuff that separates them from the pack. And I'm not talking just execution. They got stuff that I guarantee you they probably hold from the rest of the people. And I'm going to say this, whether the Tekken community wants to get mad at me or not. But there's some things that I believe firmly that the Tekken community is holding from the newer players. It's something called ESS, or electric sidestep. I'm not going to say it online. I'm not going to say it what it is. But I have firm reason to believe that a lot of the top Tekken players are holding that from the community because it's out there. It's a different way to sidestep. Let's just put it like that and keep it, it's a different way to sidestep in Tekken that is very powerful. And you look it up on the Tekken forums, you'll see threads deleted. You'll see people want to know about it and they won't talk about it. And nope, won't talk about it. Thread deleted. Can't talk about it. No, refuse to do it. And I got lucky and I learned it from my friend Ryan because he was one of the originators, besides Korea, of special formula, ESS. So I learned from him. So it's packs on top of packs. I got a pack with him as my best friend. I'm not going to talk about it. There's packs, I believe, just like this, that spread around the whole Tekken community. Because very few people know about it. If they see it, they don't know what they're seeing. They don't know. They think they can mimic it, but they can't. And you only see like a lot of top players doing it. It's just like it. You see a Crow doing it. You'll see a Ryan, JR64 doing it. And that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. The type of stuff that's going to separate you from the rest of the crowd. It's this type of stuff that they have that separates them. And people are trying to copy it, but they don't know how, and they're not going to tell them. I mean, look at it from a top player's perspective. The top player, it's about money. How are they going to keep getting that money, right? So why would they give away all their top secrets to someone like you? Yeah, they'll help you out and teach you. They don't mind doing that. But they're not going to give it away when they're trying to keep that money coming in all the time. So I can understand why they're keeping ESS from the teching community, because they do not want, they want to keep that edge on top. They want to keep that money coming in from these majors, from keeping it up there. All the top tricks, that's why it's deleted. Like I say, you don't believe me, go into the Zardabasi forum. I want you to do it. Go into the search engine, type in electric space sidestep. See what you come up with. You will read stuff all day that has the word in it, but nothing will tell you about it. You will find many deleted threads, many upon many. Rumors about, ooh, I want to hear about this so-called East Coast electric sidestep, but you will find nothing about it in there. Matter of fact, it was in there one time. It was deleted. Even the videos are deleted. And so you got to look at it and know what you're looking at, and you got to do some talking to some people and hope they, are kind enough to tell you about it. And once again, it's this type of stuff that convinces me that you can't just be a copycat if you want to be the best. It doesn't work. You've got to have, your own stuff that's going to separate you from everybody else.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, okay. Shit, I don't know anything about checking, so, I really can't comment.
Yeah, but I tell you, ESS it's pretty crazy. Like I say, I'm under a pact too. So remember that, guys. I'm under oath with my best friend, because I honestly believe that my best friend was the originator, at least in the United States, of this so-called ESS. Ryan is the originator. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's the originator. I've seen some copycats.
Some people are saying on RSC that it's just wave dashing.
No, it ain't. Wave dashing is forward, down, to neutral. ESS is okay. If you ESS is more like a sidestep kind of wave dash. But the difference is ESS gives you a lot of invincibility. We're talking true invincibility. I did it in this previous tournament, this past tournament I was in. Remember, I'm just starting to pick up Tekken hardcore. All right. I was like, hey, I got Ryan to tell me. Like I said, we're best friends. He told me about it. I'll wait.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna give him a call right back. It's the same guy that called before. I'm gonna call him back because.
All right.
Hold on for a sec.
Hello?
Hey, you called the radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got cut off.
Oh, okay. I think that he was talking about the electric sidestep or something other.
Back to the electric sidestep. Like I said, once again, remember, guys, I would love to tell it to you, but this is a lot of the main reasons I tell you why I believe what I believe. I know it exists because I'm in it myself. I would love to tell you all about it, but I can't, once again, because I owe it to my best friend. He gave it to me as best friend, Ryan, and so I'm not going to break my bond with him to do that. And once again, that's how I highly believe all top players to a degree are hiding stuff from the rest of the community. They have to, and they got something that separates them from the community. And if you just copy what you see, you're not going to get the big picture. You're still going to be in the average population. It's like they got what they got, so they can rule on top, and we're just getting a little bit of the pie. Because
I don't know. I find this highly suspect because, okay, you're saying that there's if it's not a move or a glitch or something in the game that's called the electric sidestep that gives you a lot of invincibility, and any talk of this has been it's only known among the elite in the Tekken community. You know, and I don't get it though, because my point is this: what separates elite players from just good players, to me, should not be a move or a glitch or whatever. You know, to me, an elite player is should be able to tell somebody, okay, here's the electric side step. Now, if the elite player loses because of that, then to me that person was not an elite player. He was just abusing a glitch until people found out what he was abusing. You know, I mean, an elite player should win based on skill or execution or a combination of both, not just because he knows a particular move that the other person doesn't. I mean, that's
I agree with you 150%. But with that, because clear example, my first time with I used it myself in this past tournament, in the McDonald's Gaming Championship. It was like 37 people, and I was surprised. Like I said, once again, I just started, but with myself, it gets me up to the top 5. I mean, I'm hitting people with it; they don't know what they're seeing. I mean, now, give or take, I did have a starting foundation in Tekken to begin with. So, yeah, ESS is not going to necessarily make you a god, you know, but it's one of those things where if you're already really good at the game as it is, it makes you just 2-3 times better. You know, it just makes you that much better. So for all these really good Tekken players as it is, it really just puts them that much above the notch. So, you know, the people that are already really good at Tekken, once they find that out, that just puts them up there that much more. And yeah, there's more than elites that know it, because as time falls around, people are talking. You know, people are talking. Like the players, they're talking, and they're telling this guy this, and they're telling this guy this, etc. Because I talked to a couple of people at the MGC about that type of stuff, and yeah.
Hey, welcome to radio. Hello?
Hello?
DJ? DJ Cream?
I'm still here.
I guess his microphone's having problems. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was talking to a lot of people about it online. Not online, but in person. And like I say, a lot of people that knew it, and they weren't elite players, but they know some of the elite players. So, they got it from them, and then, it's like word of mouth. They just keep spreading it around. And, like I said, they're not elite, but it's one of those things where you know it, and it definitely, like I said, once again, it definitely amplifies your game a lot. For me, I mean, it's surprising still that, I find it really surprising that even at that tournament I was able to get top 5, because I don't consider myself even remotely good at Tekken. Remember, I mean, I just started really playing it seriously. I played it casually, but I just started playing it, seriously about 2 weeks ago. And so, I mean, y'all know what my strength is. Mine's like the SK, that type of stuff. So I'm looking at it like, I'm going to come in and try this stuff out. I just got taught, and hey, it's crazy the type of stuff that they can do to people. I mean, you can circle people with it. I mean, circle them and get back throws that are going to take off half life off of them trying to attack you. It's retarded, some of the stuff you can do off it. It really is. And for what we already word on the street is, it's going to possibly be in Tekken 6, because for what we know, the 5-step system is going to be the same, which means already, see where we're coming with this? The people that know it are already going to enter with an advantage over everybody else, just trying to learn, because they're going to know something that majority of the crowd, and I guarantee you the majority of the crowd does not know about it. And they're going to already enter playing Tekken 6 with that type of stuff. And, this gives me a good way to make segue into newer games. I mean, newer games as a whole, newer fighting games. Shin Kinsu said this, and this reiterated something that I have always preached about. He said he quit playing Third Strike mainly because there's nothing left to discover. He said he's playing King of Fighters 11 and these other games because it's new, there's stuff to discover. It's like Tekken. Stuff like that, ESS, I mean, that's stuff that you discover, and it can change the game quite a bit. It's like roll cancel, CVS2, that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that ESS is like, practically. It's like a roll cancel. Just because I know how to roll cancel doesn't mean I'm going to beat Justin Wong. But roll cancel is definitely an important part of the game. Very important part of the game. Just like ESS is a very important part of Tekken that I promise you, I do not think it's ever going to hit. It's never going to be mainstream because
you want to bet
the moment it was.
If I call Alex Valle, you think he'll know?
I'm sure he knows by talking to him.
Because if he knows, I'm going to ask him what he is right here on the radio station.
Sure. Like I say, I encourage you. I encourage everyone to do their research on it. I encourage everyone because once again, I am fortunate enough that my best friend is a top player in Tekken in the world. No, you can't argue it now. He's done it 2 Evos in a row. So I mean, I'm fortunate enough that he's willing to tell that stuff to me, and trust me that I'm not gonna tell everyone. I'm not telling you. See what I mean? I'm just telling you, talk to one of these people, and I'm sure they'll tell you. I'm sure they'll tell you. And look for a funny type of sidestep that looks definitely not like something you've seen before. And trust me, it's not really discussed on Tekken Zabatsu. People are speculating about backdash cancel and all this other stuff. Nope. No. If any person originated with it that's out of the United States, it's got to be the Koreans. So I'd watch maybe some Korean match vids, pick it up there, talk to some of the top players, and really play Tekken. I guarantee you they know it. You got to. It's like roll cancel. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's like a roll cancel in Tekken. It changes the game. And there's many stuff like that in all these new games, guys. There's a lot of stuff like that you can find that changes the game altogether. I mean, you want to talk about being competitive? It changes the game totally once you find this stuff out. And I mean, I'm excited about what I can do in Tekken now that I've figured this stuff out. I'm pumped. So I'm gonna keep playing Tekken and keep using it to my advantage. And I'm entering Tekken 5 and NEC, and I'm gonna see where it goes with that.
Darkies, hold on for 1 sec. I'm actually gonna call Alex Valle right quick. 1 sec.
Sure.
Subscriber's request, this phone does not accept incoming calls.
What the hell?
Message CA03.
So much for
Looks
calling
like he's out
Alex.
partying. Looks like Valla's out getting his freak on.
Alrighty.
I guess he's getting his freak on, which, it's like I say, even us hardcore gamers, we got lives. See, we're normal too. We just, what we love doing, we play games. But we got lives. We like to get our freak on, go to the club, People, guys asking me, he's like, ooh, I get to finally meet the Dark Geese at NEC. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, all these guys that got big reputations, they come off as nerdy. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be nerdy when you meet me. I try to take care of myself a lot and lift and, do normal things that normal people do so that I can, number one, contradict this stereotype of a gamer. That, we're all nerdy, super, got six kind of faces, unattractive, blah, 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 no social skills. No. I know Valle goes out to the clubs, hits them out, do that type of stuff. They all go out. I go to the clubs, talk to women, do the type of stuff that most people wouldn't think that I would do because I'm on SRK. No, I got a life. I do that type of stuff like anybody else. So, I mean, I think it's kind of good you didn't get Valle because I can show people, hey, guess what? Alex Valle has a life like everybody else. He can, go chill and still come and kick some ass at Street Fighter. So, I think it was kind of good that you didn't get him. Shows people, hey, he's doing his thing. He's probably not playing Street Fighter, that's for sure. But he's still coming, kick some ass if he needs to. So, I think it was kind of good. But I would seriously behoove everyone to look into that type of stuff, like ESS, and look into that type of stuff in fighting games. Like now for games like CVS2 and Third Strike and stuff like that. I mean, see, the thing is not much to discover in the game. So for me, I mean, it's for a lot of people. Some of them, it takes out the fun out of it. When they know over a game like King of Fighters 11, like Battle Cross here, like the next Tekken or the next Virtua Fighter, there's stuff just waiting to be discovered that can change anything, like a roll cancel, like an ESS. Like, I mean, I don't know, like a Gen A, Gen Young. How once people start figuring out Gen A, Gen Young combos, you know, how it's 50-50, how off a throw or off of anything, how that just changes everything in the game. It really does. How a car throw or Chun-Li, that type of stuff. Sure, it won't make you a good player, but it can easily make you a better player. That type of stuff. I encourage people to look up that type of stuff. Spend time. Think outside the box. For crying out loud, don't just do stuff just because Joe Blow does it. Think of ways to, you know, different stuff that's just crazy to approach it. I'm presenting my way, guys, to discover stuff, and I'm presenting the way of my best friend. Here's how he discovers this stuff in Tekken and stuff like that. He thinks it's like the craziest way to approach the game, and then lo and behold, he'll discover something like an ESS. That's how he'll discover it. Not by thinking like everybody else does. He discovered it by doing his own thing. And now he's got it perfected, arguably, in my opinion, better than anyone else in the United States. He's got it down gold. He's the best person that can do it. So, I mean, you know, just think about that. Think about all the stuff I've said and take it to heart, you know, whenever you play the games. Don't just play them methodically, same old, same old. Think about a different way to approach it. Think about something crazy you can do, unorthodox, that people haven't seen before, and you know, never know, you might stumble upon something that, you know, you might like, like an ESS. So.
Well, look like I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer before I find out what ESS is, and I don't even play Tekken.
I'll tell you what, like I say, it's worth it because, once again, I just started playing it really seriously. I mean, yeah, I've had, you know, Ryan kind of help me out with stuff casually, but, you know, I played it casually then. But, I mean, now I played it seriously, so I really just got to the nitty-gritty. I started asking deep Evo questions, you know, Evo stuff. What about this? Battle against this person. How do you beat this particular top player? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I asked him all that, and he decided to tell me about it, and he gave me all the stuff I wanted and then more. And I'm like, man, right, excellent, sweet. So, you know, I went to work, and I started practicing, and I was like, hey, you know, let's see what I can do with this MGC, first Tekken tournament ever. And, you know, I ended up surprising a lot of people and getting a lot of woos from the crowd with a lot of my quote-unquote sidestep abilities, evading a lot of stuff. Going like circling the person the entire time almost. Yeah, that type of stuff. That I mean, that type of stuff. It can make a difference in a round. Let's just put it like that. For some characters like a Steve, it really makes it broken for them because it makes it where Steve has like a triple sidestep. You know, Steve has his normal 3 and 4 buttons that sidestep by it how it is, but when he does that, it makes it where he can like triple sidestep and then go into any one of his moves off of that, which can get a launch, and if you have a wall, that's like 70 to 80% damage. So put that into account with a player like that, and you know, some of the guys that are wall combos down really good, and you can see where that can make a difference in the game. Easily make a difference in the game. And so that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. You know, sure, you can be a novice and you know ESS, it'll make you better. But sure, you won't be able to all of a sudden beat Crow. But you've got to have a good, solid foundation to begin with. And, you know, I think most people have a decent, solid foundation of you know, fighting games. So, you know, they take that and add it to them, then all of a sudden they just become that much better. And, you know, if you have it and no one else does have it, guess what? Once people see it and they get it recorded on film, guess what? They're going to start copying you. So, I mean, and if it's really broken, here's the rules. They're going to copy it. They're going to probably they're going to ban it. I mean, if it's that broken, then they're going to ban it. So be careful with the stuff you reveal. The main reason why sandbagging is something that's very important. That's a whole other ballgame there. All I will say is if you don't believe sandbagging exists, talk to Bronson Tran. Bronson Tran said this quote to all people in California. I hope you're listening. He says, anyone in California that is good, sandbags. Bronson Tran, that's right. Insane Lee has that posted in his thread at Seconds I Box You. Yep, he has it. Says anyone that's any good in California, sandbags. True? False? What do you think? I think it's true. Because if you're a really good player, why are you going to show everyone all your stuff prematurely? Why? Save your best for the tournament. Get warmed up, you know, just use your casuals act. Get warmed up, do what you need to do. Save your best for the tournament. And that's my mentality. Am I going to use ESS or any of that type of stuff when I'm playing someone casually? No. No, I'm not.
I just got a okay. So on the RC says ESS is 4 down, 4 down. Just slide your fingers. Kind of hard to do with the stick.
Not okay. Not really. It's I would say he's got one direction wrong almost. He's on the right track though. The trick with ESS is more like sliding. You get the sliding thing is difficult. He's got one direction off on his notation, but you got to slide. The sliding part's difficult. And that's why they call it electric, because as you know, EWGF, electric wing godfist, it's like Kazuya's their premier move. Whenever you do EWGF, it's down. Let me get it right. Forward, down, and then down, forward, and 2. Well, you got to time the down, forward, and the 2 like at the same time in order to get EWGF. It's like a one frame. It's like just frame. You got just a little bit of time to do it, like a false Roma cancel. That type of framing to be the difference between an EWGF and a WGF. Same thing with ESS. If you want to make the difference between a regular side step and an electric side step, it's how accurate you are with your sliding. If you're doing your sliding very good, then you get a true EWD or ESS, and your side step, you're just sliding around the place while someone's punching. You end up being on their back, grabbing them for a 50% grab, and they're just looking at you like, what the fuck just happened? So.
All right. Well, I don't think the ESS mission is going to get solved tonight. At least not definitely.
Oh no, it's tough.
But
it's tough. But I guess that the person whose cell phone I'm using, I'm gonna have to. They're getting ready to go, so I'm gonna have to conclude my portion of the interview for tonight, I guess.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot for the interview. And it'll be up for download tomorrow.
No problem.
I got a question.
And I do wish you all the best in your endeavors as far as just getting the communities together to support the SNK games. The Samurai Showdown Tenka and the King of Fighters 11. So thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks, man. I'm definitely calling up again as soon as I can get a cell phone.
Hey, Darky.
I'm a buzzer. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I might have told you this, but Minnesota, they have some Neo Geo gatherings, about 2 a year, one in the winter and one around June. If you're interested in coming over during those times.
All righty. Hey, man, I'll either PM me that on SRK or I'll PM you that in the morning so we can, I'd love to go to that. And, we could probably use that as an avenue to attract a lot of people to one of those.
They bring a bunch
up north and
SNK games.
Yeah,
they even have Capcom games, too.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, man, well, we'll definitely talk about that. I'll post that up in my thread that way people know about that and become aware of it, and we'll go from there. We'll hopefully have something going on next time I get on the interview, and we have fresh stuff to talk about.
All right.
All right, man. Well, have a great one.
Yeah.
You too.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. The electric side step. Sounds like a new dance more than a move in a fighting game. All right, so again, that was Dark Geese, and he wanted to come on the station and talk about his thread and how he's trying to unite the gaming scene, at least as far as SNK games, together. He plans to have King of Fighters 11 at NEC and he is trying to get people to play the game. He's trying to promote it by having a $150 money match with, I think it's No Answer, or did I get that right? The Answer or something like that.
Yeah, The Answer.
The Answer. So hopefully someone gets some recordings of that, you know. And hopefully it all works out. I mean, that's true. You know, I mean, he has a lot of commitment, and that commitment is to be admired because you don't see that very often. You know, a lot of people would hate on him for whatever reason or other, and maybe because the game doesn't interest them or whatever. But I mean, seriously. I seriously gives him the thumbs up for trying to, you know, do something positive for the community at large, you know. So,
yeah, Unkavi, he tried that. He actually made a website for a competitive SNK, but there are too many casual players talking about what color is this character going to be, what's his favorite hair for this character, so he shut it down.
I'm sorry, repeat the last part?
He shut the website down a couple years ago because it was supposed to be a competitive SNK site, but there were too many casual posters wondering more about what's your favorite character's color and that stuff.
No, I see. No, so it wasn't people that were trying to learn the game seriously. You just got people that just playing the game, you know, because the heck of it.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Some of their comments, if I can remember, saying that playing competitively takes the fun out of it, stuff like that.
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't know very much about the SNK community, but I will say this though, it's definitely, you know, something that people should look into playing. I mean, after all, if the game is coming out next month or a month and a half from now, you know, why not pick it up? You know, he hasn't been the only person that's been, you know, praising King of Fighters 11. There's a lot of people who have, you know, some positive feedback about the game, that, you know, they usually play Capcom games. So, you know, he's not the only person that's been on the radio station to say some good things about the King of Fighters. And the Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, I didn't even know what that was until he told me tonight. You know, it's good that this game, if it is true that it's released on Xbox 360, that's pretty cool. You know, I mean, being able to play it online, hopefully that would mean that people will give it a chance. You know, like I said, I'm all about supporting the games that are out now. You know, and that includes, you know, the SNK fighters. You know. Is there anybody else that wants to call in tonight? The number is 425-738-6216. If you want to give us your opinion on what Dark Geese has said, or something else related, or what have you, you know, just go ahead and call in 425-738-6216. Normally, I wouldn't have had the radio up tonight because Fridays and Saturdays are typically dead nights because everyone is out and about, you know. But you know, Dark East had a lot to say, and I wanted to give him the forum to say it, you know. I mean, the only thing I could say, and it's not even related to so much of the what he said about King of Fighters or Neo Geo Battle Coliseum or any of the SNK games, but this whole electric slide, the sidestep thing, you know. I mean, I don't know whether it exists or not, because yo, you're on AlphaISM Radio.
Hey, what's going on, Bunk? Hey, DSP.
What's up, man?
Oh, not a hell of a lot. I really had no idea what he was talking about because I haven't played Tekken since Tekken 3.
Well, I've never played Tekken period except in passing, so I have no idea. And next time I see Alex, I'll ask him about it and see what he says.
Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I really haven't taken Tekken seriously in so long just because the game turned into like a one hit leads to like a 20%, you know, or a 20-hit massive fucking 80% juggle off the ground. It's just ridiculous. You know, you go to Evo and you watch finals and it's like, oh, he hit him once. He lost his whole bar.
Yeah. It is like, I've seen stuff like that too, but I mean, but then again, if you be objective about it, I'm sure there's a couple of characters in Super Turbo, but the same thing. Hey, if you get hit once, you know, you could be possibly looking at a dizzy, and then like for example, you can use DJ for example. If you get caught up with his cross up into his whatever move that's like 8 hits and it dizzies you, I'm like, you're done.
Well, you know, I see that point, but at the same time, in Super Turbo, that's not the entire gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, your goal isn't to just pick DJ and try to cross him up and do that one combo. Mm-hmm. It's very rare where you'll even see that in, like, a high-level match because it's so easy to get out of. And the whole gameplay with these new Tekken games is get that one counter hit, juggle him, 500 hits, off the ground. You can't even get up off the ground. You try to get off the ground, you hit again. I don't know. I don't like that kind of game. Tekken 3 was a lot more straightforward. It was just like, it was very similar to a straight-up Street Fighter kind of game. I mean, there was a lot of bullshit with Eddie Gordo mashers, but if you knew what you were doing, you really didn't lose to that. And I just thought that was a much more solid game. I think the whole juggle system kind of fucked up the Tekken series, but I guess that's just my opinion.
Well, to be honest, I have never been into 3D fighters, but there was one fighter I did play. We had a lot of fun playing, and that was Fighters Mega Mix on Sega Saturn. You know, I don't know why, but that game was incredibly fun because Sarah, girl, just kicks. You know, so I'm gonna be, if I had unlimited amount of money, then I would definitely be picking up Virtua Fighter 5, and I'd probably be like the game out of all the 3D games. That'd probably be the game I want to learn. Because it looks
From what I've
cool.
heard about the Virtua Fighters, I heard that they're actually pretty good games. It's just that they're non-existent in the U.S. You can't fucking find them anywhere. So who are you gonna play against?
Well, that's the thing. Well, here. Okay, hold on a second.
What is that?
No, that's my Skype.
Oh, my bad. Alright, what's up, DSP? Yeah, I think I got everything cleared up with my mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is like DJ Cream, NorCal residents, new breed of generation, whatever you want to call me.
Okay.
Alright, hey DSP, what do you think about like withholding secrets? Like, like if you knew like how to roll cancel like before everyone knew it, like would you like keep that to yourself until like a big tournament, or or like spread the word?
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a tough question because you're really asking the wrong guy. Just because where I live, like I live in Connecticut, man, and there's like next to no players, next to no comps. So whenever I get my hands on someone who actually wants to play a game, I try to teach them as much as I can, just so I can have some fucking comps. But I mean, if I knew like a secret in a game that no one else knew, I don't see any reason to like release it to the public. I would use it in my gameplay, and then if someone saw me playing and asked me what it was, I would probably tell them, but I wouldn't go blabbing it all over the place.
Well, okay, I understand, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say this ESS really does exist. I mean, I understand why, because, in a tournament you play to win. You do what it takes, bar cheating, to win. So if you know something that the other competition doesn't, then you don't go tell the competition. So I understand that part of it. However, though, if someone wants to call themselves top players or elite players, then telling someone this ESS move should not make a difference. Because just because I know how to roll cancel, in CVS 2 I don't, but even if I did, it does not make me a top player. And if I beat a top player, because I know how to roll cancel CVS2, then that person really wasn't a top player.
Mhm.
So
Right.
that's how I feel about that. So, now I'm saying that, so I don't buy the argument that top players keep that because, because they fear getting beat, because that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because if all the top players know it and all the scrubs don't, then what does it make a difference? Because
Right.
the top players, they're going to play you tough whether they use that or not.
Mhm.
That's what makes them top players. The scrubs, it doesn't make a difference if you teach them an infinite because, because they're scrubs. They won't. They don't know everything, and their inexperience and their lack of execution and their lack of skill is going to show, and then you're going to beat the guitar out of it. So I don't buy the whole electric step or electric side step argument as far as why don't you tell other people. Because to me that's an elitist attitude. That's just saying that I just want to hold this over your head type of bullshit. That's what it looks like to me.
And seriously, how can you hide something? Like, if you use it in a tournament, which obviously these guys are going to do, it would be pretty dumb to have a tactic that will dominate the game and you don't use it. But people are going to see what you're doing, CVS 2, if people didn't show people how to roll cancel, we would have figured it out. You know what I mean? When you're playing on a fucking arcade controller, you see what they're doing with their fingers, you're going to figure it out eventually.
But my question is this: why would you do something like that in the first place? Because that doesn't help your scene at all. If you want to get new people on the scene and you beating them, not just because you're better, but because you're using a tactic they know nothing about, so they can't prepare the defense for, then how is that? All they're going to do is just frustrate them to the point where they stop playing. That's how I feel about it, because it's fine for me to lose. I think it's fine for most people to lose. What makes people mad is when they lose because A, they shouldn't have, or because they messed up, or B, they don't know why they're losing.
All right.
So, to me, if I'm teaching someone how to play the game, I may not teach them every single thing I know, because I think that some things you do have to find on your own. But if you know a glitch or something that drastically alters the gameplay, that's a little bit different than knowing something with your particular character that possibly gives you the upper hand in the right situation at the right specific time and whatnot. That's a little bit different.
Man, all I know is this Dark Geese guy. I haven't heard of him winning any major tournament. If there was a time for him to come out with the electric sidestep, it should have been at Evo, and he should have won that $5,000.
He says he's starting to take it seriously. I don't know when he started taking it or start playing it, but he's starting to take it seriously. And as far as I understood it, he's his number one game is King of Fighters 11. So
nobody in the U.S.'s number one game is King of Fighters 11.
Huh?
So if
That's
he's saying
true.
that, he doesn't really play games.
Hey, I'm not one to judge, because I'm not going to say that, that he's such and such or such and such player because he plays such and such game. I think that's stupid. But if that's truly what he's good at, then all more power to him. I'm not going to knock him because he's.
I'm not trying to knock his game, because I used to play King of Fighters myself back in the 94 through 98 days, but what I'm saying is he says he's really good at a game that has no comp. No one plays King of Fighters 11 seriously. There's, a handful of King of Fighters 11 players in the country. Most of them that are serious are down in Texas because of that arcade. I forget the name of it, Planet Zero, that actually has it. But
Right.
They have it at CA too.
Right.
In Mass, they have it on a Japanese cab, but the tournaments are laughable. You watch people play, and it's pretty obvious that 90% of the people that enter don't know what they're doing, and the 10% that do aren't really that good.
Oh, well, that's point taken, because he's part of the Texas scene, which is what I've heard is one of the biggest King of Fighters scenes in the country, and I'm not going to even say that he's not good. He might be good, but good is relative. Good is subjective. You know, is he good on a worldwide level? Well, I mean, we won't know that until he plays someone, you know, from another country where King of Fighters 11 is like Marvel, like Marvel here. You know, and if he's able to compete at that level, then yeah, I guess you could say he's good internationally. But I mean, I don't think he's out of place to saying he's good as far as the United States is concerned. Now, whether or not that's saying much, we won't know until he plays like people, you know, plays against people that come from countries where King of Fighters 11 is big.
Right, where it takes it seriously as a competitive game.
You know, I mean, what hurts King of Fighters is what's the same thing that hurts Guilty Gear is that they haven't, you know, there's been no stateside releases yet. But fortunately for the King of Fighters, I mean, he's saying it comes out in December on PlayStation 2, and then they're supposed to be releasing the Neo Geo Battle Coliseum on Xbox 360. So, if that indeed happens,
weird. Like, those Neo Geo games, they randomly come out like 5 years later than when they actually were supposed to. Like, I remember a couple of years ago there was like a 2000 and a 2001, or it was like 2001 and 2002. They came out together on one CD for PlayStation 2, and I was just like, aren't these games like 3 years old? Why the hell is this coming out now? No one's going to buy this.
It's Sony America. They have a strict policy on 2D games.
What's the strict policy? Don't make them?
They think they don't sell. That's why they don't release 2D games unless it's like packed as a collection and the price is reduced. So by the time it comes out, it's already outdated.
2D games don't sell because they're not promoted. I mean, 2D games are good. It's just that you don't see a commercial on TV for King of Fighters or Street Fighter Collection, but you see 800 commercials for Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which is the shittiest fucking 3D fighter ever created. I didn't even play it.
The game is shitty. The gameplay is maybe shitty, but the presentation is top notch.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You know, you watch the video on TV, and they did a smart thing, and they released that teaser trailer on the internet, so everyone saw the fucking ultra cool, you know, video of all the Mortal Kombat characters fighting each other, and like, oh shit, and then all the people ran out and bought the game, and they're like, this game sucks.
Smart marketing. See, that's the thing that Mortal Kombat has over Street Fighter, is that Street Fighter, it does have a storyline, but it hasn't really been kept up. Capcom never really pursued it much, you know, compared to with Midway and Mortal Kombat is concerned. And so, I can't see, like, let's go back to 1999. I can't see, you know, Capcom releasing a trailer from Marvel. I really don't. I mean, not in a way that has been done on Mortal Kombat Armageddon, you know.
I see what you mean about presentation. Like King of Fighters Maximum Impact, that was probably the first SNK commercial I've ever seen, and maybe since the early 90s. And that game sold way more than all the SNK games released combined.
You know what? All I'm saying is that it's really interesting though, because you know what's really interesting? I guess this is I don't know how many people know this. All right, the PlayStation 3 is coming out in less than a month. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that Sony is going to be the first? It's going to be the first. How can I say, the first console maker where they will still be technically supporting 3 consoles at once, because there are still PlayStation 1 titles that have been released this year. PlayStation 1 still technically is not dead yet. And now, if you really think about it, that's a feat. That's a feat, because I mean, it's been out for 11 years, and I, you know what? And I think we're gonna see something similar to PlayStation 2. I don't think the PlayStation 2 is gonna die off, like seriously die off, for another 5 years.
Yeah, man, and Barbie Horse Adventures 5 was the hottest game of 2006.
Yeah, even made it to backwards compatibility on like an Xbox 360.
I mean, I'm still kind of it's kind of interesting though, because I always figured that the PlayStation 3, I still think that the system is way too high. The cost of the system is way too high. But
yeah, seriously.
I mean, and But one thing that it does have going for it is that since it's gonna, at least in Japan, they're selling these rain checks / vouchers, so you're guaranteed a console release or guaranteed a console, whenever the shipment comes in. Now they're doing this in Japan, but I don't think they're going to do this in America. By the way, it's kind of interesting that the Nintendo Wii they sell all their pre-orders on the first day.
Why PS3 didn't do that either?
I mean, the PSV did, but many people thought that since the Nintendo Wii was supposed to be like plentiful at launch, that it wouldn't sell out on the pre-orders like so fast, but it actually did. There are people that I talked to a couple of people. They said that there was more people in line for the Wii than there was for the PlayStation 3. When I was looking on IGN.com, the one dude was like, "Hey, I was at the freaking store, and there was like 50 people there outside the door for the Nintendo Wii." I'm like, and then what was said today, there was people out there waiting for the Nintendo Wii and a Tickle Me Elmo doll.
But Nintendo's smart because here you go. They're sitting back and they watched everyone else's marketing style, and they saw what Microsoft did with the 360, not shipping enough, creating that artificial demand. And now they sat back and they saw that PlayStation was going to do it, and they said, you know what? Rather than create artificial demand, let's actually release a couple games at launch that people want to play, and then have real demand for our system. So now, everyone's going to be able to just walk to the store and buy one, because I can tell you right now, Best Buy, Walmart, they're going to have a bajillion of these things. There's no shortage. So you'll be able to go on launch day, go buy a Wii, go buy your accessories, go buy your games, and actually enjoy the system, and stay out of the lines and stay out of the bullshit. And so I think that the Wii's going to be a lot more successful than the piece of shit PlayStation 3.
Well, it was one of the interesting things that people was complaining about the price of the remote or the Wiimote. And I'm going, well, okay, first of all, people forget that this technology isn't cheap. What you have is a Bluetooth wireless motion sensing technology. You think that shit is going to cost $20?
Hell no.
Come on now. Let's be realistic here. It's like, and the PlayStation 3 ain't gonna be any better because the controller is gonna be $50.
$50?
$50, $49.99.
Hey, you think they're gonna have corded?
PS2, right?
Huh?
You think they're gonna have corded three controllers?
I don't know. I don't know how many other. One thing that does suck. You won't be able to play your PlayStation 2 controllers on your PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I know. That makes people who want to play Guitar Heroes. Oh, even worse. If you have an arcade stick for the PS2, you can't plug that in.
No, unless your arcade stick has a USB port. Nope.
I wonder if USB adapters will work. That's an interesting question. Will it work if you're using it on PC? Will it work on the PlayStation 3?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's see the thing about it is it was rather interesting because I thought the PlayStation 2 is incredibly smart because you could almost everything that worked on the PlayStation 1 worked on the PlayStation 2. You could use the same memory cards. You can use the same controllers. It was a DVD player, which at the time DVD still wasn't quite mainstream because the players were still $600. It was completely smart sound system, and that's the reason why it was the best selling system in the last 10 years. Now with the PlayStation 3, you got. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Blu-ray doesn't have any uses, but I really do think that, man, we just come to the point where we're just graphic whores. They're talking about. I remember I was reading an interview earlier, and they was interviewing some Sony executives. He's like, we're already filling up the Blu-ray DVDs, with all these, with this pretty eye candy and not a lick of gameplay. Eye candy is good, but it's only good for 30 minutes, people. It's not a lasting high.
Yeah, and if you can't play the game.
High, though, man. That's the whole thing. Sony doesn't want you to have a lasting high. They want you to buy a game, play it for a half hour, say, "Oh, I'm bored of this game," and run back to the store and buy a new one. They don't want you playing the same game for 2 years. That doesn't make them money.
It's stupid. It's stupid that it's that they're trying to push this technology that's really no one's asking for on a consumer because the consumers are like, well, you know what? They already solved part of that problem because I think it was NEC, not Northeast Championships. There's this company named NEC that's coming out with a chip that allows people to make players that play both Blu-ray and the HD DVD format on one player.
Yep.
And I'm like, there you go. That's all everyone wanted to see.
I would not be surprised though if you see a lawsuit from Sony trying to stop them from releasing that, because that's, Sony likes to have control over their own stuff, and to have someone try to undermine them like that, they're probably going to have a shit fit.
I mean, they can. Well, it's rather interesting though, because Sony would stand to lose more if they challenged it, if they left it alone, because if they allow it to go through, then that gives consumers more choice, and they might gravitate them more over to Blu-ray. But if they sue them to try to prevent those players from being made, and then the consumers like being forced, and they won't make a decision at all. Like most consumers, they're like, well, it ain't worth it. Period. Because DVD is still great. I don't care what anybody says. DVD is still great. I mean, the Blu-ray over DVD is nowhere near the step that VHS was up to DVD. I mean, there's just.
Have you actually seen like a Blu-ray or a high def DVD movie? Because I haven't seen one in person yet. I gotta say this. I've seen movies in high definition on my computer. You
have a high def monitor?
I mean, yeah. I should say high def. I mean, I was looking at it in 1080p because my monitor supports 1080p, 1920,
nice.
And it looks good. It looks hella good. But it's not something I'm going to walk out there and spend $1,000 on the TV for, plus another, $600 and $700 on a system, and an additional $50 on the movie. It ain't that good.
And at the same time, it's like, how many movies are really, really going to take advantage or benefit from the high def? I mean, okay, maybe an action movie or something. Once a year there might be a couple movies that you'll want to see in high def, but I don't want to buy fucking Click and see Adam Sandler's pimples in high def. I don't give a shit.
Oh, what I've been hearing is like they're gonna have like a Will Ferrell movie, like when you buy your PS3 on launch.
Yeah, it's that racing movie, that NASCAR movie that he made. It's going to come with every PS3 on the first wave, I believe. Like, it's like a package in.
Now, one way
That's the thing, though. That's Sony's whole plan here, because Sony knows that no one's running out to buy Blu-ray players. They know that it's expensive and no one really cares right now. So this is the perfect opportunity to get that out there. Let's jam it into every PS3. Now everyone has a Blu-ray player, so now everyone's going to run and buy our DVDs because, guess what? There's no real games you're going to want to fucking play on it for a couple months, so go buy some movies and watch it.
The only thing I can see them doing a Blu-ray that would be, like, even remotely interesting, like, for example, Spider-Man 3 comes out next year. All right.
Or even, like, Transformers, because it would be, like, animated. And
right.
I think animation would be, like, even cooler.
But let's just say that Sony wants Spider-Man 3 is like basically a shoe-in for a Blu-ray release. But let's say that they'll do one better. They will maybe sell you like the Spider-Man 3 PlayStation 3 game, but on a double layer DVD, where on the first layer is the game, and on the second layer is the movie. Now that would be sort of interesting because people will be more apt to buy it because. That's something that will be using their advantages there because it's a game and a movie, and so you'll be able to you get both of them on one disc, and people might, and that will probably work. People will probably like that, but that still wouldn't. That's still not enough to go out there and make me buy a PlayStation 3. However, the whole Linux thing is pretty interesting just because you're going to be able to see games by homebrew developers that you normally wouldn't see on any other console, at least not to this point.
One point that I really haven't heard anyone bring up yet, and the whole PS3 thing, and I think it's an interesting point, is You know, Sony's marketing this thing as like it's not just a console. It's a high-def DVD player. You can use it, like you said, with Linux. It seems to be like it's going to be open source with a lot of stuff. You can fuck with it. You know, you can use it as a. If you use it with your PSP becomes an MP3 player and stuff like that. And now here's what I'm wondering. I mean, the Microsoft 360 wasn't really pushed like that, and people were just usually using it to play games. Well, all the 360 started fucking up within like the first 2 months. Now, is the PlayStation 3 going to be the same? Especially since it seems like since they want you to use it for more things, it's actually going to be on more than probably anyone's 360s were the first couple of months. I'm wondering if these things are really going to start, you know, frying on top of everything. And a big problem here is going to be that everyone went and they didn't spend $300 on the system. They waited in line and spent $600 on the system. So it's twice as bad as the bite that you felt when your 360 tried the first time and you had to mail it in for warranty. I'm wondering what the reaction's going to be like if something like that happens.
Well, okay. One advantage that Sony has is hindsight, because they watch Microsoft launch their console and have those overheating problems. It's reasonable to assume that somebody at Sony's headquarters says, make sure that doesn't happen with our systems. I'm not saying there won't be any glitches or something might not go wrong with it. You know, there's always going to be something that goes wrong with any new type of hardware. And that includes cars. You know, you never buy a first-year model of a brand new car because they haven't got the bugs worked out of it yet. You know, so you know, I think that the PlayStation 3 is going to have its fair share of problems, but I don't think overheating is going to be one of them. Because if anything, they probably would say, okay, make sure our shit don't overheat, man.
I have a question.
Mm.
Are the PS3 and Wii going to be region-free?
The Wii isn't. The PlayStation 3 is.
Okay.
And now, okay.
Actually, I've been hearing differently, dude. Like, I've been hearing actual Blu-ray discs. Like, Japan and North America is gonna be both region 1, so it wouldn't be that much of a difference, you know, importing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I've been hearing.
Well, okay. I mean, I've heard like similar. I heard both ways. I've heard that the PlayStation 3 is going to be region free completely, like the PlayStation Portable is, because and I think that this is going to be a trend that continues. I really do think that the next generation of consoles, I know it boggles the mind to think about the next generation of consoles, but I really do think that eventually all the consoles and handhelds will be eventually region free. The only thing about the Xbox 360 that the reason why no one it's region free as well, but the thing about it is that Xbox does not have a presence outside of the United States. So who gives a rat's ass that it can play games from other regions? Because we're going to get it here first because they're an American company. And if it's made for specifically a Japanese market, then we're most likely only going to be interested in it anyway. So, but in the PlayStation 3, that'd be different because there's a lot of heavy hitters that are coming out on the PlayStation 3 where it's going to be released in Japan first, and you know there's going to be a whole lot of people that don't want to wait that long. Because I bet you, I'll say it right now, I bet you that when Virtua Fighter 5 comes out in Japan on PlayStation 3, everybody and their mama that has a PlayStation 3 in North America is going to import that shit.
Nah, I don't believe that.
It's gonna be Metal Gear, dude.
But it'll be those games. Yeah.
But here's the thing about it is that the Japanese, you know that the Virtua Fighter 5 on the Japanese version is going to be better because you know they always get shit that we don't get.
Yeah.
They get special packaging, they get a music CD, all that shit. Remember that they get all this shit. Be like, why would we get dicked around so much? You know, especially when like the Street Fighter games when they were still being released semi regularly. In Japan, they get posters and shit. And we get instruction booklets. Yeah. I'm like, that ain't fair.
Yeah, man, I heard in the collector's edition of Final Fantasy 12 in Japan, you actually get a pair of the Bunny Woman's panties.
What?
I mean, see, that's the thing I think that's the reason why Sony isn't terribly worried about the price, because they're gonna make sure that Final Fantasy 13, Devil May Cry 4, Metal Gear Solid 4, they're gonna make sure that none of those games ever appear on any of the other consoles. Now, derivatives like Final Fantasy 12, whatever that version that's coming out on Nintendo DS, which no one's gonna give a fuck about. Now you want to see the derivatives, but you won't see the actual game pulling up to anything else. So the only game that you're liable to see on PlayStation 3 that you'll see on other I think we'll see Grand Theft Auto, whatever the next Grand Theft Auto game is going to be. I think we're going to see on all the consoles. But Final Fantasy 13.
I don't know if you heard about I don't know if you heard about the launch lineup, but half the launch games are already on other consoles.
Yeah, I mean the launch lineup for the PlayStation 3 is garbage. I don't know why is anyone crying foul that they won't be able to get one to see. I mean, if you want Madden, if you want to play Madden, if you want to play Tiger Woods golf, then you got 2 other consoles available to do so.
Well, the only thing that's really pushing the PS3 exclusively is the game Resistance, which is dubbed as an upcoming Halo killer.
The game looks awesome. I have to say that. I'm going to be straight up honest. The game looks freaking awesome. I watched a clip of it the other night. But that's not that. But even as good as a game that might be, it's a new game. It's a new franchise. It's still not a killer app. It's still not a killer app for the system. Despite the fact that it might be better than Halo 3, purely as a game, I mean, that's still not a killer app. Now, if Sony would have released, let's say, Metal Gear Solid 4 at launch, okay, then you got a problem. You might see murders on. You might see murders in the street over people's consoles. You might still see murder on the street. I told Alex when he pre-ordered his, the 2 he got. I told him, I said, he told me that when the system comes out, he's gonna be rolling deep. You're gonna have Jaha and 2 other niggas in the car with him, and they're gonna roll down there and gonna pick up the system, drive straight home. And I think that's a smart idea. If anybody got a PlayStation 3, don't be going up there alone. You will get jacked up at some of these GameStops. People have been shot over less. So.
Tech throwing.
No, I'm surprised that we haven't heard stories of an EB or a GameStop getting robbed and having all their PlayStation 3 stolen on the night before launch. And think about how much money you would make with that.
You know what? It's interesting though, because I have a feeling that that I wouldn't be surprised if at some of the bigger ones, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a police presence.
Like the PlayStation store in San Fran?
Oh yeah, or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a police presence, and and it's stupid though, because I know that 90% of people are buying the system just to resell it on eBay, for 4 times the price. Which I don't blame them. Hey, if someone told you that you could make $1,800 with a $600 investment, you'd be like, oh hell yeah. But I'd be one of those people. If I would have pre-ordered that, I wouldn't even sell it on launch day. I would wait until around about 4 or 5 days before Christmas, and then I put it up for auction and watch the feed and frenzy. Because you always got those few lazy motherfuckers that didn't be able to get one, and you really want one, and money's not an object. They just want the system.
Hey, damn well, the second generation of PS3s ain't gonna come out, cause for a long time, because this first generation, they were underdeveloped too, they didn't meet their quota. So don't expect to see another PS3 till maybe March. Somewhere in the spring season of next year.
It's really interesting though, because I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if this delay isn't semi-intentional. Just creating hysteria, panic, marketing. You know, remember, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Artificial
said.
demand.
Yeah, I
They've
mean,
been
right.
doing it
I
for
mean,
every console.
yeah, I mean, Monica Lewinsky got her own show because she sucked the president's dick. I mean, come on now. That just
She has
proves
her own
that
show.
there's no such thing as bad publicity. You know, and I mean, that's how it is. Yeah, that's right. Creating artificial demand. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I thought it'd be interesting getting one a year from now. When all the games finally start coming out for it. You know.
Yeah.
I am kind of surprised
yeah.
that Microsoft hasn't made any moves. I thought for sure we'd be seeing a Halo 3 being released on the same day, like they promised us 2 years ago, or a price drop, or something.
Well, Microsoft doesn't have to make any moves because they finally are in November anyway. Their November lineup of games is actually solid. You got Gears of War, you got SmackDown vs. Raw, which is going to sell like 5 zillion copies. Even if it sucks, it's going to sell 5 zillion copies. And I know there's like a handful of really solid games. November has historically always been the best month for games. All the good games come out because they know that, you know, it's Christmas the next month and everyone's going to go buy it. Now, if Microsoft were to come out with Halo 3, they don't have anything to benefit from because right now, PlayStation 3, sure, they're going to sell a lot of consoles, but they're not going to take up any kind of market share just because there's a limited amount of consoles. You know, they can only sell a certain amount. No one's going to go out and buy 7 copies of Call of Duty 3. There's no reason. But if Microsoft were to release their killer app right now, well, sure, maybe they'll win this holiday season, but what's going to happen next year when PlayStation 3's good games actually start coming out? They're not going to have a secret weapon. So I think they're kind of smart. Release a couple good games now, you know, nothing ground-shattering, but do a little releases for the holidays, make some money, keep making money over the next year, and then when Sony finally has something worthwhile to offer, blow it out of the water with Halo 3. Just totally make them wipe off the map.
I say, you know what? I got a bet. I bet that within 1 week of the PlayStation 3 release, we're going to see a blog or a forum post or a picture somewhere with a picture of someone running Windows XP on PlayStation 3. Want to bet? Anyone want to take that bet?
I'll pass.
You know what? But you know what? You know what's kind of messed up though is because if anything, Sony would like that to happen because that's just a slap in the face to Microsoft because it's like people can't even run your own damn Windows systems on their Xbox 360 yet they can run it on PlayStation 3. I mean, I think that if anything, it's really interesting though because Sony could theoretically be tapping into an untapped market, and that is the geek market. Because don't underestimate geeks. Don't underestimate the technically savvy. Because the thing about it is, the PlayStation 3 is expensive. It's too expensive for the common people like me. But for people that like to have powerful software or powerful hardware to develop with, and since the cell processor usually costs about 3 times the cost of the PlayStation 3, you know, there's going to be people who will get it because, you know, they'll be able to do shit on there that that would take them, you know, $2,000 to do if they would have bought a PC, you know, to do like some of the things that the PlayStation 3 would be able to do, you know. And I mean, I think that would be really interesting. I find it interesting that Sony was going to try to put Linux on the PlayStation 3. Because at first I didn't see the advantages of it. Then I thought, well, wait a minute. You know, they want to. I mean, they don't want. This is what I see. I see Sony allowing people to install Linux on the PlayStation 3. Sony is not stupid. Nor the people who works there. I mean, some of them are just as technically as savvy as we are. They know that there's going to be people emulating games on their shit. But what the fuck do they care? I mean, if they buy their console and emulate other people's games, well, I don't care. As long as it ain't Sony games, I don't give a shit. And let them emulate PlayStation 1 games like we making any money off of them anyway. If people want to use them as their web server, their FTP server, or to emulate Neo Geo ROMs and whatever, go for it. I always wonder how many Xboxes did Microsoft sell, just because people could know that they could put all that shit on it. Ever since the BIOS was cracked on that shit, people bought them like it was. You don't even see unmodded Xboxes anymore. If you come to somebody's house with an unmodded Xbox, people look at you funny. Like, why don't you switch out the hard drive? How come you don't got every game known to man on here?
I didn't even know people still use the Xbox One.
Shit.
I haven't had mine for like a year and a half.
It's crazy though, because like when Wizard, I think it was when Alex went over Wizard's house to like to trap the streaming thing, and there was like a camera on it, and then you could see Wizard's I guess his Xbox. I mean, he has like every game known to man on there. I'm like, this is not good, I'm like, oh, I hope that none of the Capcom officials saw that, because it'd be like, okay. Glad that they're pirating our shit.
It doesn't work for Capcom.
But,
well, Bunky, I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the Northeast Championships that are going to happen this year. I don't know if you want to change the topic, but I do want to talk a little bit about that, because there's been some controversy going on.
About what?
About the Northeast Championships and the way that they're running it this year and the scheduling, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, I have a question about that one too.
Okay.
Is there going to be a Super Turbo?
According to the schedule, it says there's Super Turbo, and it's going to be at. Well, here's the issue, and here's the issue that I have with NEC. I mean, first of all, NEC is held at this hotel, and he's having it the same place this year than it was last year. And the location of the tournament itself is actually good. Like, he has a room where you have lots of space for TVs. The hotel sucks, man. The hotel is like, it's a rat-ass hotel. Last year, no lie, the first night, me and the guy who I was staying with, Drew, he's from Connecticut too. Some people out there might know who he is. We were staying there, and we were leaving the room, and there was like the biggest fucking cockroach I've ever seen in my life crawled across the floor in front of us, and we just like stared at it, and it like came up to my foot and started like almost crawling on my foot, and he goes, "Dude, you're not gonna step on that?" I said, "Dude, that thing's probably here before the people moved here."
Dang.
But it's like that location, and I'm gonna be honest, it's mad ghetto. Like, that hotel was like, there was just some really nasty people staying there, and it was just kind of weird. I mean, the good thing was it was cheap. It was cheap as hell. It was like maybe $60-70 a night between 2-3 people. That's nothing, but it just is not the best venue that I've been to for a tournament. But I mean, the major issue that I have with NEC this year is their scheduling. I mean, here's the schedule. I'm going to read this straight from the post, the Eric's post. I mean, 12/2/06, which is Saturday, he's got Soul Calibur 3, Tekken 5, Guilty Gear, Tekken Tag, DOA 4, Ultimate Mortal Kombat, the Marvel 2 low-tier tournament, and he claims he's going to try to have all the team tournaments that day. Like, he wants to do Marvel teams, CVS 2 teams, Third Strike teams, Soul Calibur, Guilty Gear, Tekken 5. Now, what is his schedule for Sunday? He's got Marvel, CVS 2, Third Strike, Super Turbo, CFJ, Alpha 3, HFSF. I don't know if that means Hyper Fighting or if that means like Anniversary Edition. And then he claims he's going to try to jam in Madden 07 and NBA Live 07.
What
I mean,
the
he's got
fuck?
his entire... What was that?
Dude, I don't think anyone
like-
who plays like sports games will show up to that anyways.
Oh yeah, I mean that's regardless. That's a non-issue. But he's got every Capcom fighter on one day, and it's a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at the times, it's laughable. Like Marvel, he claims is going to start at 1. You know it's not going to start at 1. CVS 2, he says it's starting at 12. You know it's not going to start at 12, and that's the longest game. Third Strike, which will probably be the biggest game there at the whole tournament, he's starting at 2. And then he's got games like Super Turbo, Alpha 3, they're starting at like 4 and 5 o'clock. Dude, 5 o'clock on a Sunday? You gotta work on Monday, man. People aren't gonna stay to play those games. And I really don't think that people are going to show up at all if he has all the Capcom games on one day. I mean, let's be honest. The two highest turnouts for this tournament are probably going to be Third Strike and Tekken 5, and then probably third will be Marvel. Fourth will be like CVS 2. No one's going to show up for Dead or Alive or for any of these other games that he's throwing in. And he's got basically nothing going on Saturday besides Tekken 5, and then he's got all the Capcom fighters on Sunday. And I talked to him about this. I actually posted, and I said, dude, you can't do that because I'm telling you right now, most people are not going to come for a 2-day tournament when they're not going to play anything on the first day. Or, think of the perspective of the other people, like the Tekken players. Well, they can just come on Saturday, play, and leave. You know what I mean? And it's not really promoting crossing over of games, which is kind of what a lot of tournaments have been trying to do. And Eric, instead of saying, oh, okay, I'm going to talk and I'm going to decide what to do, he PM'd me on SRK and he's like, yo, give me a call on my cell phone. And I'm like, you know what? Dude, it's not my tournament. I don't want to run his tournament. I don't want to call and explain to him how to schedule and how to run a tournament. I clearly said in the post that, you need to change the schedule. This is really messed up. And I respect Eric. I've known Eric for a really long time. And I know that he's really well-intentioned. He's actually run a lot of tournaments and done a lot for the community. But I think that he's really fucking up this time. And NEC is usually a really big tournament on the East Coast. Probably, I would say, the second largest, traditional tournament on the East Coast, just under ECC. And he's got it scheduled so that no one's going to be there Saturday besides Tekken players. And very few people are going to show up Sunday because who wants to take off Monday when you have a 2-day tournament? There's plenty of time to have all the games. You don't have to take off Monday.
My question is this: maybe since you won tournaments and I haven't, how about for Saturday, you would have the games you have the tournaments for the games that won't have much crossover. In other words, you would have the tournaments for games where, let's say for Soul Calibur 3, Tekken 5, and and Dead or Alive 4, and then you got Marvel, CVS 2, and Third Strike because you run the less risk of someone waiting for someone because they're playing another game in a tournament. Because if you have CVS 2, Third Strike, Marvel all at once, you're going to get a lot of delays because there's going to be people who enter all three of them.
Right.
So
I agree.
My question is, why not break them up and have 2 sets of tournaments going at once, but 2 completely different sets of games where there wouldn't be that much crossover in between the two.
Right. I mean,
So Marvel and Soul Calibur?
Yeah, Marvel, Soul Calibur. Oh yeah, there's that Marvel and Soul Calibur, and something like that, and then just do it that way because that'd be easier to do. Because I agree with you, DSP. I think that's kind of. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to work because there is no way that they're going to be able to finish those tournaments on time, in a reasonable hour. I mean, that looks like that those tournaments might go well into Monday morning, and I don't think that works. I don't think that works.
Well,
In fact, I would probably wonder. I'm actually wondering why they don't start this Friday afternoon or Friday evening.
Well, that's a different issue because it's one thing to have a 2-day event, Saturday, Sunday. And it's another thing to say Friday because even ECC, and this is something that I really was angry at 2 years ago at ECC when Feet tried to force having tournaments on Friday night. He actually had Super Turbo on a Friday night, and the turnout was shit. And you can't really have major tournaments on a Friday unless it's like an evolution size where people are actually taking time off as almost like a vacation to go to it. And I work till 5:30 on a Friday. I'm not going to jump in my car after working 8 hours and drive 3 hours to Philly and then go play my best. That's like a waste of time. But what I think you should do, and this is, just from my experience of being at tournaments and running tournaments, you take the 2 highest games that are going to have the highest turnout. So let's say Third Strike and Tekken 5. Split them up. So Saturday's Tekken 5, Sunday's Third Strike. Now you take the other games, and it's exactly like you just said. You take one that's not going to interfere with Tekken. So what game are most Tekken players not going to play? Marvel. So do Tekken and Marvel together, when Third Strike's running, do Guilty Gear. You know, there is some crossover, but there's not a huge crossover there. And you go back and forth and you divide it up. So now people that come to Capcom, well, we can play one major game or two major games in a day, and maybe even do some of the team tournaments, the side event. And then on Sunday you play one or two major games. You play the team tournament, so you can actually go home at a reasonable time. You don't have to stay there till fucking 3 in the morning. Well, I don't know where he's coming from or what he's doing with his schedule, but it's actually a big disappointment because there was, I don't know if it's been discussed on the radio, but there was actually going to be some hype over NEC because apparently the Empire was calling out Team Hate, and they were saying, oh, we want to have a rivalry with Team Hate, we want to have all these playoffs at NEC, where it'll be like, you know, your best in Third Strike against our best, and Marvel's not going to happen, but CVS, because you know, Team Hate has a lot of top-level CVS players, and they wanted to do kind of like a showdown kind of a thing at NEC, but if the schedule is like this, I don't think anyone's going to bother going. I don't see any reason to.
What dates is NEC happening on?
It's always the first weekend of December. So this year it's December 2nd and December 3rd.
Okay.
But where is it?
It is in Philly. It's been at different places over the years. It actually started out at University Pinball, which was like the major arcade in Philly. It was part of one of the colleges in that area. But then there was like a fallout between Eric, who's the tournament organizer, and the actual owner of the arcade, and he just got fed up after a couple of years, and he moved it out of there. And for the past couple of years, he's kind of been doing it himself. He's been going to different hotels and different locations. And finally, last year, they got at this hotel, and they're going to kind of stick with it this year. It's a different name of the hotel, but it's the same hotel as last year. So I couldn't even tell you what it's named because they changed the name like 3 times already.
My question is this: I'm gonna use NEC's example, but I don't mean NEC specifically. But like last night, we had Mr. Magfest was talking about Magfest, and my question is, how come like in a situation where someone is just like Magfest, how come no one won't combine the tournaments with such a popular event? Because I mean, they have 26,000 square feet of space at a 4-star hotel. I mean, that's definitely large enough to hold just about any size tournament. I mean, and this is not at a shitty hotel, but yet they only. I mean, it's a 4-star hotel, $89 a night, not bad. It's happening the weekend after New Year's, which is fine because most people will not be back into school until that Monday. So, I was like, to me it'd probably be a better idea for like just to combine, like I'll use NEC as an example into like MagFest and just have people come out there that way, have a good time, still play your games that way.
Well, there's a bunch of reasons why that kind of stuff doesn't happen. I mean, first and foremost, tournaments like ECC, NEC, these are tournaments that have been run for multiple years independently, and to combine with something like MagFest, I guarantee you, whoever's running MagFest is going to try to take at least some kind of control over the tournament, whether it's, what you can do, what you can play on, how much space you get, who's running it, how to run it, where the money's going. There's going to be some issue that's going to come up that's going to fuck it up. And so just there, on the basis of that, I would probably say that's why people don't really go for those kind of things. And then, of course, the other issue you got is, MagFest it's in January. That's great. I mean, it is a good time. There's really no major tournaments in January, but MagFest hasn't really come after anyone. I mean, have they come to Fee? Have they come to Eric? Have they come to myself? Have they come to anyone on the East Coast and said,
I mean,
hey,
this is just an idea.
Video game event. And
they're holding a tournament on their own,
Correct.
and I mean, but to me, I mean, there's like what you're saying about the whole who's running the tournaments. I still think that can be ironed out. I mean, I don't think there should be no reason why they can't come to terms about the term because. Mr. Magfest, he's not. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have any interest in the tournaments, but that's not what he's there for anyway. He's not there for tournaments. He does not. I think he would love for the idea of having someone who's experienced with tournaments, really experienced holding really big tournaments, to go, to handle that part of it. I don't really think that would be an issue. I could be wrong, but I don't think it'd be a big issue. And I think that more people would be more. It's a better it's a better time. It's a better location. And true enough, it is in Virginia as opposed to Philadelphia, so it's a longer drive. So I guess it's a one knock against it. But to me, but there's a lot of space. That's the thing about me that gets me. Is like when you told me there was 26,000 square feet of space. The biggest problem that we had at Evolution this past year was there wasn't enough space for casual gaming. There wasn't enough casual gaming there. And but now they got basically, like a schoolroom full of of space they can use for casual gaming, and they can get in money matches and so forth and so on.
Well, another issue is going to be that already this guy, I don't know who Mr. Magfest is, and I didn't listen to the show last night. I didn't catch it, but he's already seems to be aligning himself with the Empire and with Triforce, and that's going to give you a stigma too. I can tell you right now, there are a lot of people that don't like the Empire and don't like Triforce, and they don't want to be associated with that. I know Eric's one of them. He doesn't hate the Empire, but he does not like it. And for him to associate himself with someone who's already associated with the Empire, it's bad news. And you're going to wonder, gee, are there going to be politics? Am I going to have to put up with Empire bullshit if I team up with MagFest? Or am I actually going to get to run a good tournament? And it's too many issues that are going to be up in the air.
But this is not Empire's. Because that's one of the first questions I asked. Empire is supporting it, but it's not necessarily an official sponsor. And granted, I understand that there's people that don't like Triforce. I've talked to a couple of them already. Believe me, I've seen it. But in this instance, though, people really need to sit their ego aside for a moment and think about what's good for the community at large. If who cares if Triforce is going to be there if the tournament is ran by someone respected?
Trust me, it has nothing to do with ego. It has to do with pure, when it comes down to it, destructive personalities and the people that are going to support the community and know what the kinds of things that need to be done, and the people that are not for that, and they say that they are, and they talk through their fucking teeth about it, but they're fucking liars. So having Triforce there is going to give them zero benefit anyway. But
if they could deal with Triforce being an Evolution, then I think they can deal with him being at MagFest.
Well, Triforce really had no influence over Evolution. That was the thing.
I don't think he's gonna have that much influence over MagFest either. Not at least as far as the tournament scene is concerned. He's not into the whole tournament thing anyway. That's not his thing. So if the tournament was ran by someone respected, like let's use you or Eric for example, then who the fuck cares about what Triforce is doing? The tournament, there's money there, there's a tournament being held, there's a lot of space, there's going to be a good turnout, there's going to be extra shit there that's not normally at tournaments. There's a 4-star hotel. Let's get this shit rolling.
Well, who's actually going to be running the fighting game event at MagFest? Who's going to be the people directing those tournaments?
Actually, I don't know. MagFest didn't tell. Not that I remember directly, but then again, I almost fell asleep like 2 times. I can't remember. I don't remember mentioning anyone. Actually, I think Paul is I think he's the logistics director. I think he's having a hand in running the tournament. And here we go again. This will work for MagFest's favor too, because if you get someone who's really experienced in running the tournaments, then the tournament's going to run more smoothly, and they'll be more apt to deal with situations that come up during tournament play. So this is just an idea I had. I'm not saying that we got to go out there and do it. I'm just saying this is an idea I had, and I
totally. I hear where you're coming from, because it's kind of hard, Street Fighter is such a freaking grassroots thing. You know, a bunch of people with no money just trying to keep the community alive. It just makes sense to kind of team up with someone who's already doing something big like that. But you know, you look at the track history of Texas Showdown and Evolution teaming up with people like MLG, who already had better locations and supplies, and you see how that went. And then you see the relationship between places like the Global Gaming League and what happened with Digital Life. And you kind of see a pattern forming, and you're like, you know what, maybe all in all, it's better to kind of just keep to ourselves than to keep trying to team up with these guys who don't really seem to know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, I understand that, but this type of divisiveness is going to hurt the community either way, because it's more divide and conquer. I mean, we can either unite or we can fight and kill each other off. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, if we can either put our differences to a side and try to do something positive for the community, or we can just keep to ourselves and do our own little thing, and then just watch the community dwindle away. Like I said, like I always said when Alex was on the phone, none of us here are getting any younger. And like if we're fine with things the way they are, then fine. Then you have to do anything. But if we want to see new blood into the community, we're going to need to be able to do something. Do something different. We need to pool our resources, and I just thought that this is an idea I had on pooling those resources, and it can't hurt to ask. That's how I feel about it.
Well, another thing with MagFest, I don't know how much you know about it or anything like that, but last year, and this was kind of like one of the big things with Empire, last year DSP announced that they was going to have a huge fighting game tournament at MagFest, and he was teaming up pretty much exactly what you just described. He says, I'm teaming up with MagFest, we're going to have huge prizes, we're going to have everything going on, it's going to be exciting, plus you're going to have the concert, the anime convention, the fucking cosplaying, whatever the hell you call that gay shit. And, it's going to be kind of an all-inclusive event, so you won't only be playing games, you'll be excited because there'll be other stuff going on. And everyone got hype about it. I mean, I don't know if you actually look, that thread still exists on the Empire's message board, and I actually was one of the first people to post, and I said, hey, man, sign me in, I'm down. And then all of a sudden, it came to be like maybe a month before the event, and he cancels the whole fucking thing. And he says, oh, well, we had a discrepancy between MagFest and it's gone.
MagFest was canceled?
No. The tournament, the fighting game tournament was canceled at MagFest.
Oh, the fighting game tournament was canceled. Any reason why?
Right. No, there was never a definitive reason, and everyone kind of went to TFGM and said, well, what's going on? And all he would say is that there was some kind of a issue between him and the MagFest people, and there was something about sponsorship and money that was supposed to be given, and it was never given, and basically he wasn't going to be able to come through on his half, promising all these huge prizes for people to come to MagFest and win all this money, and the money wasn't going to be there. It was going to be kind of like an ECC kind of thing, and he just decided to kind of call the whole thing off. And that's fine. I mean, that's all well and good, but the problem here is that this was kind of like the one chance for Empire to finally prove themselves and say, hey, look, we're actually here to promote the fighting game community, and this is a tournament where we're taking money out of our own pocket and running it and teaming up with someone who knows what they're doing to kind of get out there and promote it. And what did they do? They dropped the ball. And so, when everyone says, gee, what does the Empire do for the fighting game community, most people don't really know what to say because they haven't done anything.
Okay. And my response to that is messed up, because it is messed up. I mean, that's just like the Digital Life thing, making all these claims about, all this stuff and then to have it fall through, and I mean that's bullshit, I mean, that's the only way I can put it. It is bullshit. However, I think this MagFest would be a little bit different, because from what Mr. MagFest told me is that, that Empire is not involved in any way with the money part of it. His money came from different sponsors, and apparently he got a good chunk of it because he's able to pull off this at a 4-star hotel and able to get all of these discounted rates and shit. I mean, so obviously he got some good sponsorship, and and so I mean, to me, that's when looking at it. I don't think you're gonna see the same thing. I think that they're playing in the fighter game tournament this year, and I think it really is gonna happen because they got all this space, they got all the shit they're gonna have some arcade cabinets there, some shit. I mean, so I think they're really serious about having it this year. So, I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen 2 years in a row, but here's another thing. I mean, man, I mean that'd be such an advantage though, because how many tournaments do where there be certain arcade cabinets provided for you? Yeah, you can hold it at an arcade, but I mean, an arcade,
that's kind of a It's kind of a non-factor. I mean, the days of arcades are gone, and most people that play now don't play on arcade at all, unless you live next door to Chinatown Fair.
I mean, it depends. You know what? To me, it depends on what they get, because a lot of people last night there was more than a few people that messaged me, and they all asked me one single question: are they going to be able to get the arcade cabinet for Tekken 5 DR? And he said he's working on it. So I think that if anything, if they manage to get a few good ones, of like few of the good ones that that people would like to play on, then I think it could be a factor. I'm not saying it'd be part of the tournament, but I'm just saying it would be a good factor for casual gaming.
Right.
And
well, dude, the reason they were asking you that is because there's no console version of Tekken DR, so obviously you need to have arcade cabinets.
Right. If he manages to find one, that'd be. I'm sure there'd be a lot of Tekken people that'd be happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I'm just. This is just personally. How I feel about it. Shoot. Maybe next time I talk to MagFest, I'll mention it just in passing and just see what he says.
Here's my major concern is this. Yeah, they have the money. Yeah, they have the location, but they don't have anyone who's run a fighting game tournament before.
Right.
When they don't know what to do, you know who they're going to go to. They're going to go straight to Empire and TFGM and say, "Oh."
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. If it was let's just, I'm sure there's two sides to every story, but let's, for the sake of argument, let's say that everything happened as you stated it happened, then we would want to intervene before that becomes an issue. Like, for example...
I don't know the real story, because, again, TFGM's the kind of guy that you ask him a straight question, and he'll fucking double talk you for 20 years and never give you your answer. I asked him straight up what happened, and he wouldn't tell me, so I don't know what really happened, but that's just from what he said and what other people have said about what happened. What it boils down to. Let me ask you this, DSP. How would you feel about incorporating, Northeast Championships into MagFest if it meant that the tournament was ran by someone you respected, like someone that that can do a good job with it? I could care less. I think that the idea of bringing tournaments to the bigger scale, like Evolution-style scale, or even teaming up a tournament with something that's not just a gaming tournament, so you actually have something else to do than just play fighting games, I think that's a great idea. The whole issue has always been that when you do that, when you team up with someone else, you kind of lose something. You either lose control, or you lose money, or you lose something that's going to crucially affect the quality of your event.
Mm-hmm.
And with MLG, they always wanted to have control over the tournament. So yeah, sure, you're running it, but perfect example, Texas Showdown. People were yelling, and they were joking around about basketball or something, and someone was, I think it was actually Triforce, he was swearing. Him and Matrix were swearing. Who cares, The MLG guys got up in their face like, shut up, we're going to kick you out right now. Like, what? Or a perfect example, Evolution. You can't even have announcements and entrance music for your players. You can't have people announcing at your own fucking major tournament, national major, because MLG says no. Fuck you.
That's messed up. That tells you right then and there that they don't understand the culture. that comes with fighting game tournaments. You know, it's kind of more than a tournament. It's a culture. It's a, you know, there's going to be heated discussion. That's part of what makes the culture so interesting because, you know, the only thing I can even liken it to is just like it's like watching, like going to wrestling matches. You know, people cheering, going on. You know, tell them beat the shit out of them. I mean, that's like the only thing, but it's not so. But it's not nearly as homoerotic. You know, so I mean, like I said, I mean anybody that derives pleasure from watching two men in spandex wrestle each other. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Have you seen Ricky Ortiz's tournament? He's pretty homoerotic.
No, but see, he's not dressed up in spandex. At least I hope not.
Oh, you haven't seen Ricky Ortiz's tournament?
And, you know, with a bare chest and showing his legs and shit. I mean, if he's in the speedos, then yeah, I can see what you're going with it. You know. But.
Hey, man, I really have nothing against having any established tournament team up with someone like like an MLG or like a MagFest, as long as there's some kind of a contract or some kind of a clause that says, look, we have creative control over our own tournament. We're going to run it. We're going to decide what goes, what rules are given. We're going to announce. We're going to, basically control the entire thing, produce the entire thing. You can slap your name on it and help us out with financing and things like that, and it'll draw more people to your event, and that's how you'll benefit. But that's the problem. People have just been so eager to team up with these places that they don't remember that these places are probably going to try to mold the tournament to what they want it to be, and that's where the problems have arisen.
Mm-hmm. But it's interesting though, is because with so much space, and with over 3 days or 4 nights, 3 days. I mean, that's going to be more than enough time to hold the tournaments and then some.
Oh yeah, I don't think time will be an issue. I think it'll be more of a space issue, supplies, prize money, how you run the tournament. Can you make announcements? Can you talk shit over the mic? Can you have entrance music? Or is it all going to be some little, are you going to be treated like the little kids in the corner? Hey, we let you have some of our space, so just shut up and do what you're told.
I think a better question might be asked is how much will the hotel allow? Because
the hotel really doesn't give a shit. The hotel is just going to rent the space, and as long as you don't have crazy drunk people running around the hotel destroying it, hotels for the most part really don't care.
No drunk people, huh? That might be a problem. No, I just.
Yeah, what was that? I saw that they said no alcohol. Is that true? You can't drink at MagFest?
You can have alcohol in the lounge, but not in the actual tournament.
At the tournament.
Right.
Oh, that's to be expected. I wouldn't want people fucking walking around drinking at the tournament anyway.
You can have, and then they're gonna have, they're gonna have security there checking for ID and so forth and so on. What they mean by no alcohol is that they won't be serving alcohol because Virginia has strict state guidelines as far as administering alcohol, and I don't think anybody is expecting to get alcohol served there. I mean, come on now. BYOB or BYOL, bring your own liquor.
Man, there's nothing better than roll canceling, pairing, and a nice appletini.
Shoot. I mean, that
yeah, right. Like I ever drank a fucking appletini in my life.
Man, you know what, man? You know what drink the last drink that I had that I loved that messed me over so bad. When I had that margarita, man, my grandma makes some great lime margaritas. Woo! When I visited St. Louis last, I had some of that. Ooh. My head was spinning. My grandma, she held the liquor better than I did. She like, you punk. I'm like, at least I'm gonna be alive in 20 years. She's like, I fuck you. My grandma, she's like 80. I think she's like 86 now. You would know that though, at her age. And she don't know.
Let me run an idea by you guys and see what you think about it. This is something that actually me and Afro Legends, we actually were talking one night and we kind of came up with an idea for next Evo. Yeah, I want to see if like the average person really would have any interest in something like this.
No.
Basically, we were talking about, how ST is coming out in November. As everyone knows, Capcom Classics Collection 2 or whatever. It's supposed to be arcade perfect. It's the first time we're actually going to have an arcade perfect port of this game, and over the past 12 years, a lot of interest. What's that?
Yeah, over 12 years, yeah.
Yeah, it only took 12 years to get it, but I mean, at least since Evo 2005 with all the upsets that happened, including all the bullshit that I did there, and in 2006 with the hyper fighting stuff, I think there's a lot of interest in the old school now. In fact, it's kind of funny because everywhere I go, every tournament I go to, people are like, "Oh, DSP, when SD comes out in November, can you teach me how to play?" I'm like, "Dude, I'll play anyone in ST. I'll teach you guys how to play. I'm happy that people are excited about it." Mm-hmm. But anyway, getting back to the point, to kind of celebrate that this game is being released, and I'm sure in Japan it might be kind of a big deal too for like all the old school ST players. They'll probably love the fact that they can play it at home now. What we were thinking of doing is at next year's Evolution, having like a kind of like a promotional event. What we were going to do is have, first of all, the top 3 placers from every regional. So Evo East, the top 3 ST guys. Evo West, the top 3 ST guys. And then Evo Finals, like the top 3 ST guys from that qualifying bracket. And we're going to take them, and then also take a couple of like the classic ST players that maybe have just got scraped out, like Mike Watts and people that might have just gotten under the top 3 but didn't make it, and throw them into a 16-man like mini tournament, kind of like a promotional thing. Have them play out until the top 5, of the tournament are established, and then do a 5-on-5 USA versus Japan for ST. And, let Japan know way ahead of time that this is going to happen, and say, look, if you guys want to do a qualifier on your coast, in your country too, you can go ahead and do that. And, we know Daigo is a shoo-in. Onuki's been here a couple of years. I'm sure that Tokido's going to want to do it. He's been here and beating our ass in ST in the anniversary. And then, try to get 2 more good ST players to come and do like a kind of a USA versus Japan event. I think that would be pretty nice. I don't know if anyone else would think that, but
I heard that some of the really best Japan players, the ones that you see on the match videos that play Super Turbo only, are going to come, like Kurahashi or Uteki, guys like those.
Right.
They're really best. They might come to Evo next year.
Oh, you know what? If anything, I think that you're going to see more Japanese players at Evolution next year for the plain fact that besides Third Strike, they ain't got very much to brag about. And they gonna come back harder than ever next year. There's no doubt about that. They ain't gonna just walk around. They ain't gonna, because they depend on that prize money. That's free money for them every year until this year. We basically said, okay, we have enough of your shit. Go home now. So.
Third Strike was pretty much dominated by Japanese. You had 2 Japanese in the top 8 of the anniversary. You had, how many Japanese were in the top 8 of the CVS 2? I don't even remember.
Only 2.
3 or 4.
It was Kendevu and Daigo, I think.
Oh, I'm surprised that Bach didn't make it.
But there was a lot of upset, even in Third Strike. Daigo being pieced out by Alex Valle. That's definitely one of the more turning points. I really did think that. I think the reason why we didn't do so well in Third Strike is because it's only a fingerful of Yun players in the country, like really good Yun players. And I think that's what was at disadvantage, So, I think that's
good young player in the entire country, and everyone else sucks.
I'm no Third Strike, expert, but from my understanding, there's only a couple of people that plays like young, like on the level, on a really, really, really competitive level, to get used to practicing against them, and one of them is Issei.
Right.
And the other is Pyro, I think.
Yeah.
So,
I forgot that Issei is considered U.S. now, so yeah, I guess I would say there's 2 good.
I don't consider him. He's still the enemy to me, but I mean, no, just kidding. No, it's all good. Just in case anybody listening, that's a friend of me saying it's all good. But I would just mean to say that like anybody that we can practice against, that's still living in the country. So, so 2 players to practice against, that's not really good. So,
Right.
we're gonna have to find some way of dealing with that. Maybe we need to like
Yeah,
fly Issei around and challenge everybody. I don't know.
So overall, what do you guys think of my idea? Because the one thing that I kind of miss about tournaments is that the most hype thing that really ever happened was when Japan had USA versus Japan, and we had a Team USA, and they went over there and they got fucked up. But besides that, it was pretty hype. I mean, I think we should bring back that kind of hype. Why can't we have big events that are like pre-planned, something like that, and have qualifiers and invite the best in Japan to come over here for once? Since we're actually getting our fucking act together, have them come over and.
DSP, actually, your idea on 5-on-5, Alex Wolf brought that up the last time he was on the show. He wanted to do that. It was gonna be him. It was gonna be him, his brother, and a few other people. And he said 5-on-5, but he said that if there was gonna be enough Japanese players, he wanted to do 10-on-10.
See, when you do 10-on-10, sure, that would be great, but you got to remember that Evolution is also a singles tournament, and you don't want to take up 10 hours of one day doing an ST event. I think that the best way to really do it is to have like a qualifier tournament and make it fair. Like I said, don't have it be biased. Just take like the top placers from each regional qualifier, and then a couple people who are good. I mean, there's a lot of people that I was surprised didn't make top 8 at these tournaments. Just because I guess the sheer number of bullshit that came up with Anniversary Edition and fucking CE Bison. But, people like Henry Sen and classic East Coast players versus, some of the older West Coast players that might not make top 3. And just throw them in and have it be fair. Have them play it out to find the team.
But there'll
Alex
still be
Wolf
room. But then you just got people sandbagging each other. So, just for them to, propel themselves up. You know what I'm saying? There's just going to be people who want to lose intentionally because they know that the person that they're playing against has a better chance of, beating the competition.
Well, if that's the case, who cares?
I mean,
get the better player going to competition, right?
I mean, so to me, I was like, why not just, have, to speak to speak to the American players, speak to the Japanese players, and like, hey, choose 5 people from your group that you want to represent Japan or America, and we'll do America versus Japan right here and here now,
Well, because that'll never work, because you're going to have Alex Wolf, and, he'll be saying, oh, okay, it'll be me and my brother, Alex Valle, Mike Watson, and, 5 West Coast players. And there's no chance of anyone else to do anything. I don't think that's fair. I think that every region should have an equal chance. Why can't East Coast players get in there?
Okay. I didn't know there was any East Coast SG players.
Well, there aren't, but there might be now that, like I said, now that SG is coming out.
There might be, okay. Well, I mean, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. All right, then, in that case, then yeah, I can see if they really want to make it that formal, I can see why. I can see the problems that will come out of letting one person decide, or whether you even let a few people decide, So, okay, yeah, I mean,
right.
but the bottom line is, I think the 5-on-5 America versus Japan would be a good idea.
Hey, DSP.
Okay.
I think it's a good ass idea, dude. Because it's been a while since we've actually done like a formal like international contest against us in Japan.
Right.
So
again, I think that
that'd be
when we
great.
had US versus Japan was one of the most hyped things that ever happened. I think that this to have, and especially because it's so timely. ST's finally coming out on console. Everyone's going to be able to play it at the same time. It's kind of a timely thing. I think it would have been kind of dumb 3 years ago to do it because there was nothing to really have a reason for it. But now we have a reason to kind of have the event.
I think I have one idea too. I wanted to add a game to the list of the fighters at next year's Evolution. I want to add Eternal Champions.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I've heard that game is really broken.
It is, but it is
Anniversary,
so dang fun.
Was it?
Infinites galore.
That's true. True.
You know, I get the feeling if they had more space and more TVs at Evolution, you would have seen like the most weird and fucking obscure games ever being played. You probably would
For
have
the
seen
bubble.
Champions and fucking Clay Fighter 2 Judgment Clay, and you would have saw all kinds of shit.
Clay Fighter 2. Killer Instinct.
Street Fighter the movie.
Ooh. No,
Oh,
no,
God.
no. No, Capcom is actually like, unplug that.
Play, the laugh factor.
No, the Capcom is actually like, unplug that. We don't want that here. And no one recorded any of that, you know. That's like a forgotten part, you know. It's just like being in an interview with a Square Enix representative and bring up the Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie. You know, that is blasphemy, and you're liable to get, you know, assassinated for mentioning that.
Oh man, yeah, Street Fighter the movie game is so funny.
It is. It is.
I can't believe how funny it is. It's just like fucking pure comedy. When you play it, you can't play it seriously. You can't take it that way.
It's like that Capcom was trying to like capitalize off of what Midway did with Mortal Kombat using live actors and stuff.
Right.
You know,
They failed.
It failed though because it's obviously an anime, and you can't, and you can't make real life out of anime characters. It don't work. It doesn't work. I say it can't work, but it doesn't work most of the time.
I mean, the real cool thing about Street Fighter 2 is that when you look at all the other games that have come out, like, nothing really looks like the original Street Fighter 2. Like, the characters are drawn in a way that it's not too cartoony, but it's not too much like anime, and it's not quite realistic, but it kind of looks realistic. Like, Sagat is a skinny motherfucker.
But he's buff.
Yeah, I mean, Sagat was like, I know they was looking back at him and like, why did we make him so look like he was anorexic? You know, I was like, it looked like he get punched one time and his rib cage falls out. Hold on, man. Let me put this back in. I'm sorry about that. All right, let's get back. You know, it was like that when I saw him Alpha, I'm like, damn. Do you remember the first time you saw Sagat in Alpha? I was like, shit, what the fuck are you doing, Sagat? I'm like, that's a big ass dude. And like he just gained 350 pounds. What?
And it's just, the Alpha series looks a hell of a lot more like anime than the original Street Fighter series.
That's true. But you know what? You can tell what they was going to Alpha when you look at the portraits and the Super Turbo characters. Like, remember Sagat's portrait in Super Turbo? He looks just like Sagat does in Alpha. His head got a lot bigger. You know, they switched around his patch on his eye because they can't decide which eye he actually gonna have a patch on. But it's supposed to be his left eye, but it was interesting though because technically Street Fighter Alpha was supposed to take place before Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 1 and whatnot, but yet Sagat still got the scar on his chest. I'm like, okay, that tells you. They really never paid attention to the story arc at all.
And no one cared about details back then. It's like Guile has the USA tattoo on both of his arms. It's so funny. I had to have a symmetrically perfect USA flag tattoo on both of my shoulder jerseys.
I thought they did a good job because you know what? I thought they did a good job with Charlie because I was like wondering how they're going to do Charlie, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought that Charlie would look like when they showed what he looked like in Alpha. I'm like, oh, okay, because
man, Charlie's really Blanca.
Oh gosh, that was really. I mean, seriously, I thought that was.
If you watch the Street Fighter anime and Street Fighter Alpha, the game, Charlie looks way different.
I don't remember the Street Fighter Alpha movie. I don't know what was up with that movie, but it looked like you have to be high when you watch that movie because you get the boy Dave.
No, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the series.
Oh, the series. I never watched the series. Oh.
Not the USA version, but the Japanese one.
Yeah,
Which series? Was it an Alpha series? I didn't know there was an Alpha series.
Not Alpha, but it's a Street Fighter anime.
Oh, Street Fighter V. Street Fighter Victory or whatever.
Yeah, Street Fighter V. Yeah, that's it.
That had nothing to do with anything either. That wasn't supposed to be like real Street Fighter backstory or nothing. It was just kind of.
I know that none of you are.
Make it as anime.
I know that none of you are Mortal Kombat fans, but what is the series that everyone is so excited about? There was only one season of it, but there was apparently a
the
Mortal
USA
Kombat.
one.
There was a Mortal. I don't know if it was a USA or not, but there was a Mortal Kombat series that was on. They said it was really good.
The live action series.
Apparently, in the
Conquest.
end,
Conquest.
It was called Conquest because at the end, Shao Kahn fought Raiden, and Shao Kahn beat Raiden, and then he showed him the future, and he says, "Okay, this is your Earth champion, dead. This is Earth champion, dead." It's like he basically showed him the future and all the Earth combatants that died, all this stuff. They say it was really good. I don't know. I've still yet to see it because I mean, live action, man. I don't know, man. Mortal Kombat 1 was acceptable. Mortal Kombat 2 was abomination. And the Mortal Kombat animated series was stupid.
Out.
Huh?
There's going to be another Mortal Kombat movie next year.
Another movie?
Oh, yeah, there isn't.
Oh, great.
Low budget.
Low budget.
It was supposed to come out like in 1998. I guess Mortal Kombat's popularity waned, so they pushed it back, kept pushing it back. Now it's popular again, so I guess they're going to release it.
I thought Mortal Kombat 1 isn't. I would probably say Mortal Kombat 1 was probably the best video game to movie adaptation.
I mean, it did kind of tie in with the story, and that movie actually didn't suck. Like, it was actually interesting, and it actually was like the characters actually lined up with the characters from the game, except for Raiden being the dude from Kung Fu. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of stupid that Raiden didn't even fight. But then again, he's supposed to be a demigod, so I mean, so I can kind of understand why there was no need for him to fight. So, but I mean, it was interesting. Like, yeah, the storyline flowed, except the part that actually it was Scorpion that killed Sub-Zero, not Liu Kang. I mean, and Shang Tsung was supposed to be an old man, but instead he's a. And it's interesting.
Yeah, but if wouldn't you try to look young? Like in Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, Shang Tsung looked mad young.
Right, he was young, but apparently his youth was given by Shao Kahn. One of the biggest bloopers I thought was the fact that, like, when at the end of the movie when Liu Kang fought Shang Tsung, he didn't transform to any of the other characters. And then that was like one of his trademarks, I mean, it would be kind of cool if he changed it to Sub-Zero or changed it to Scorpion or whatnot.
They ran out of their budget. Finally, ran out.
Yeah, they probably ran out of budget. Couldn't afford the special effects for it.
Like, oh shit, what are we gonna do?
It'd been kind of funny if Shang Tsung would have changed it to Akuma, the other raging demon. Oh. Shush. All right. What's going on?
I don't know.
I think the 5-on-5 would be a good idea. I think it should happen.
Well, if that's the case, maybe I should. I've been thinking about posting it on SRK, but I'm afraid that if I post something like that on SRK, that people will accuse me of trying to say that, that I want to be in it or something, and I'll try to force myself into it. And dude, I don't care. I just want our best players to play. You know what I mean? I could care less about if I'm involved. I just want to make sure that the best players get to play the game.
I know there's some really good West Coast and East Coast Super Turbo players, but also the Midwest, there's some really good players like here in Minnesota. Wes Trilson, Jesse Howard.
Right. Yeah, well, I've played Jesse before. Yeah, I mean, what I would say is, have them either go to a regional or just come to Evo Finals. That's what I mean. Like, we should really take the best players, and again, U.S. players. And when I say Evo Finals, I don't mean like Japan gets fucking top 3 that they're going to make it into Team USA. But, take the best top 3 U.S. players from each regional and then throw in some surprises. Like, let's say Jesse Howard gets, 5th or 6th or whatever. Hey, throw him in. There's going to be empty spaces because it will be like a 16-man. So you'll have 9 and then throw in another 7 people that you just know are good and would probably stand a chance and randomize the fucking brackets and go with it, and top 5 can make it in.
Yeah, I got something that I actually posted about. What do you think about a power ranking, national level? Because
Did you just say Power
I read,
Rangers?
yeah,
So
power
it's
ranking, like
tennis,
like tennis,
seating?
yeah, tennis, boxing, they have it.
Wait a minute. Oh, you say Power Rankings.
Yeah.
I thought you said Power Rangers. I was about to hang up on you.
Oh no.
Probably. Yeah.
I was about to say, hold on. Click
Yeah, that fighting game in the Power Rangers is tight.
Yeah, it was.
I forgot about that game.
And I'm like, if you do it, the Green Rangers banned. I'm like, oh man, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember there were magazines like the California Street Fighter Association. There'd be a top 25 power rankings. Tomo Ahiro at number 1, Jeff Schaefer number 2, Mike Watson number 3. And I haven't seen any of that nowadays. I don't think there's been any. There's just tournament results. While that's good, it's not organized because one day someone might place second, another day, another tournament someone might place 7th.
Well, you do know that SRK did that before with the Apex system, right?
But that was garbage.
Well, yeah, but the whole issue arises that, all right, what tournaments are we going to actually count for the rankings? Are we going to be picky and say only one tournament's better than another? And if you do that, well, that's unfair to the little guys who, that live in Ohio. And sure, they're not going to beat Justin Wong, but they might not suck. But we won't know because we're not counting their tournaments. And then if you count everyone's tournaments, you're going to have people lying about tournaments. So what are you going to do? One thing that I suggested, and everyone laughed at me years ago, was that you can't really do a point ranking system, but what you could do is have and as dumb as it sounds, have titles. You are the East Coast champion of Marvel. You are the West Coast champion of Marvel. And, maybe don't take it a step further. You don't need a title belt or nothing like that. But kind of have it that, okay, this guy won ECC, he's the East Coast champion of Marvel, and then until he gets taken down at another major tournament, he's going to be the champion or considered the champion. And then every year at Evo, you can have everyone face off and unify and say, oh, he's better than him because he dropped the title to him and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It'd be kind of cool if you had a belt, though. And, if you lose, you had to, give that belt up.
You must pass on the belt. Yeah, but then the problem is you have people like Justin who fucking sell the belt to have money.
Or college.
Jason Cole has a belt. The Super Turbo belt.
He doesn't deserve that belt.
I can't believe, Justin won Alpha 3. I'm Justin doesn't even play Alpha 3.
Where? What are you talking about?
The Virginia tournament.
No one plays Alpha 3. No one knows how to play that game.
I guess not.
Dude, I was beating the Geese players who actually knew what they were doing. I was beating them with fucking A Bison.
Oh, goodness.
No one knows how to play Alpha 3 no more, and that game's garbage. Justin won by picking Sakura and just randomly pressing Fierce and then activating and doing a Viism combo. Nestor was actually the best Alpha 3 player there. He picked Viism Akuma and he was unblockable, doing the unblockable fucking Viism combo on people, and they were like, what the fuck? People know how to do this combo here? Now, Alpha 3 is garbage. Don't take Virginia ranking seriously, please. There were no Alpha 3 players in Virginia.
I have to disagree about the Alpha 3 comments. I believe it's really good. It's a really good technical game, very deep. I mean, people whine about VSMs, but they think it's so easy to do, but it really takes time to do, and it's not even easy to set up.
Oh my god.
Well, you know what? I do have to say this in defense of Alpha 3. Like, okay, everyone knows that the competition in Japan and when Alpha 3 is pretty intense. But I remember when people was complaining about Vehicumens and blockables and so forth and so on. But like the people that have been like winning these tournaments have been using V Karen and V Zangief and actually my favorite character in Alpha 3 is like Guy, but he's like middle tier at best. So I'm kind of depressed about that.
Dude, Alpha 3 is probably on the list of Street Fighter games that have ever been released. Probably, I'd say, maybe third from the top of the list of the worst Street Fighter games ever released. And the worst, obviously, being TFJ, which is a horrible, stinking piece of shit. And then maybe Alpha 1, and Alpha 1 was a solid game, but the only reason it sucked was because you had, like, Ken and Bison and Akumo who just, like, were 20 levels above everybody else. And then you had a couple people who could actually kind of mess with them, but... I mean,
what do you think about Alpha 2?
Alpha 2, I really like Alpha 2. Because, Alpha 3, the reason that I don't like Alpha 3 is it's like learning from scratch. If you've played Street Fighter games from day one, if you've played Alpha 1 and Alpha 2, the day you play Alpha 3, you have to learn a new game. Because it throws all the fucking things you know about Street Fighter out the door. I mean, hitboxes, dude, every hitbox in that game was redrawn. They don't make physical sense when you look at them. Like, you'll see Blanca doing a low fierce, and his fist is through your fucking chest, and it doesn't hit you. You're like, what the fuck is this? And nothing does any damage. The only thing that does damage are VSM combos and level 3 supers. You have to hit someone 72 times to do any damage. Fireballs do no damage. You can do flips in midair. A juggle system? Where did they come up with that fucking stuff? Why did they think that Street Fighter needed some advanced juggle system with flips and recovery? It doesn't even make sense. And then the fact that 99% of the characters you can't even play because they're all fucking, like, horrible gimp characters. They're nothing like their former selves. And the whole game is gimmicks, to be honest. The whole game is pick a VSM character that has a gimmick with their combo, or pick an AISM character who for some reason has a super high priority normal attack that doesn't make any sense. Like, Gen, his fucking jabs and shit are like ridiculously powerful and go through everyone else's normals. It doesn't make any sense. It's like learning a game that's nothing like any other Street Fighter game, and I'm sure at high levels, yeah, it could be competitive, but it's just garbage. Dude, a hitbox should hit where you see the fucking hand coming out, not behind them.
Yeah, but Alpha 2, I'm sure it really relates to the Street Fighter 2 games. Like, if you play Street Fighter 2, then you can play Alpha 2 reasonably okay. But you gotta treat Street Fighter Alpha 3 as a new game. You can't treat it like Street Fighter 2 or you're gonna lose.
You know, my major gripe with certain types of games is that there are certain games that can be based around, like, gameplay, and then there are games that are just based purely around gimmicks. And Alpha 2 was the kind of game where, yeah, there was a gimmick, there was these custom combos that would blow out your guard, but you could actually play that game with, certain characters, and you don't always have to rely on getting that blowout combo. You can play with Adon, you can play with Birdie, even though Birdie sucks. Like, I know people who are good with characters that suck in that game because there's actually gameplay to it. Alpha 3 is just, it's horrible. It's like, get that one gimmick with that character and just abuse the fuck out of it. There's no gameplay to it. It's just stupid. It reminds me of fucking playing Third Strike with Chun-Li. There's no gameplay. All she does is press this button until she gets super, and then she tries to combo into super. And that's the entire fucking round. There's nothing else to it when you play with Chun-Li. And that's not gameplay. That's just horrible programming. Okay, I guess I just buried Alpha 3.
Yeah, I'm
No, I see what you're saying, and that probably, sadly, is why Street Fighter Alpha 3 doesn't even get any play.
Oh yeah, Alpha 3. I mean,
Although
again,
I
Alpha
like
3
to.
will not get any play. You know, everyone was excited when Alpha 3 came out on PlayStation 2 because they had Alpha Collection. Everyone's like, oh shit, you know, Arcade Perfect Alpha 3, and no one's playing it. They didn't have it at Evolution. They didn't have it anywhere. No one cares. But now Super Turbo is going to come out, and a lot of people are going to start playing that. And it's more about gameplay than anything else. You can have a game full of gimmicks, but it's not going to, you know, it's not going to last. You get a great game, like, look at the games that have stuck around. Marvel, yeah, there are gimmicks, but it's really good gameplay in there, too. And there's variety of gameplay. And you look at Third Strike, yeah, there's gimmicks there, too, with characters like Chun-Li, but then you get, you know, you can actually win with middle-tier characters in that game. You can pick Dudley, you can pick Urian, you can actually win in Third Strike if you're good. You can't pick a fucking shitty middle-tier character in Alpha 3 and expect to win. You have to pick one of those 5 top characters.
GQ almost won Evo with Rainbow Mika in 2002.
Yeah, but
and she's
USA
like,
doesn't play Alpha.
No?
Did you say Chikyu?
Yeah.
That guy plays anyone, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that Street Fighter Alpha 3, it's like, well, not the same as CVS2, but how role canceling makes some characters in CVS2 better. In Alpha 3, VISM makes some characters able to compete against the best characters.
I don't
but
agree
again,
with role canceling, but, you know, I understand why it's used.
Yeah, I understand
No,
too,
I mean,
but
the
you know.
thing is in CVS2, you got a wide cast of characters who you can actually pick and play with. And even before role canceling and after role canceling, you can still pick a shitload of characters in CVS2 and actually compete with them in a tournament. You can't do that in a game like Alpha 3. You got to pick the same fucking 5 people. You can't pick a middle tier character and win. It's just not going to happen. They suck. They suck that bad. And you got 5 characters who have a gimmick that they just abuse the whole round and you lose. So I hate gimmicks. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, we agree to disagree.
I'm not saying that Alpha 3 is, you know, not a competitive game. I'm not saying that at top levels it can't be played and it's not quality gameplay. I just think that overall, when you compare it to pure games like Super Turbo, Alpha 2, CVS 2, you know, other straight-up fighters that have quality gameplay, not just the same gimmick over and over, I think that it really does pale in comparison to those.
I think what he's trying to say is that Alpha 3 is so heavily dependent on VCs more than CVS2 is dependent on roll cancels and you know, and you know, just other games that have like certain things to them that make certain characters. I mean, it is true that like in Alpha 3, it is tedious that, you know, that how virtual combos work, because, you know, you now, not to say that they're unavoidable, you know, they're not always unavoidable. You can't get an alpha counter off if you're quick with the timing, you know, but there are like certain characters like, you know, like Sagat, V Sagat, and V Vega, or in like V Ryu, you know, they got like infinites. They're just jump, medium punch, jump, medium punch, jump, medium punch, and just think until you're dead. I mean,
you talking about crouch cancels?
Yeah, the crouch cancels. I'm sorry. You know, when I saw that, when I was seeing that, like in like 5 different Alpha 3 matches, I said, yeah.
Oh man.
I
And
said
then
that.
the only people,
It's
the only
really.
people that aren't VISM that can compete. It doesn't even make sense. Like I was saying about Gen. I mean, the only reason that he's playable is because for some reason, like some of his normals have a ridiculous priority, and they cancel half the other normals in the game. Why does a stand jab be like supers? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's like, well, with Alpha. Well, see, the thing about it that I don't like about it is that, okay, let's use Marvel as an example. There are infinites of Marvel, but there's a cap on them, and infinites are no guarantee that you'll win the match.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like the one character in Marvel that's easy infinites is Iron Man, but Iron Man dies against the top 4 in Marvel for free. You know, because his speed sucks and he cannot force a hit. You know, you gotta be on your game. You know, with Iron Man, if you know to land, you know, your shit. You know, and but in Alpha 3, if you land that virtual combo, and you end it with an infinite, that's it. The round's over. You just
But
go
the
stick
thing about that is the top characters don't even have crouch cancels. Akuma doesn't have them. Dalsim doesn't have them. Zangief,
They don't
Sakura,
need 'em.
they don't.
Enough gimmicks and bullshit that they don't even need them.
I understand. Like, I mean, it's like you're right. You know, Akuma doesn't have crouch cancels, but he has
Crouch
unblockable.
cancel infinites, I should say.
A crouch cancel infinites, but he has unblockable VCs that take off like 80% life. You know, I'm going. Okay, I'm
the
like.
whole point here is that, you know, Alpha 3, in order to play Alpha 3, the whole game of Alpha 3 is really V combo. If V combos were not in that game, the game would be such a drastically different game. There's no real gameplay around it. It's just a couple random pokings and things like that until someone gets a V combo and then the game's over. It's the only thing in the game that does any damage. And then you look at
That's
a
true.
game like
They
CVS
messed up the
where-
damage on there. I mean, it's like, for example, like you know, and at least you know what the thing about it is, I actually rather play Hyper Street Fighter Alpha than Alpha 3, because at least in that game, I mean, it's, you know, it's not a gimmick per se, you know, but it's like, but at least there's like enough bullshit where it kind of balances each other out. Although, I mean, Watts, you know, they allowed people to use the auto block thing, which I thought this should have been banned, and
that was a mistake.
That was a mistake allowing that in the game. And so, I mean, you know, but it does not to say that that Hyper Street Fighter Alpha doesn't have its own BS. It does, but you know, to me, that would be a more interesting game than Alpha 3 would be if it had been my choice.
Well, the reason, the thing that fucked up with Alpha 3 is they fucked up the custom combos, because when they made those custom combos, they didn't intend them to be used as they're being used. Like, you can tell they intended the custom to be like how it was in Alpha 2 or how it is in CVS 2, where you do multiple, you know, special moves and shit like that, and it traps you in the corner, or you get a couple of hits and it does some damage. What people do is they don't do that. They just juggle you with one random hit, they whiff a move, and they juggle you with another random hit. And because it's such a limited amount of hits, the game doesn't scale properly, and you get like 90% of your life gets fucking taken off. So, I mean, the whole thing is people kind of found a different way to use the combos they programmed into the game, and that's how the game got broken.
You know what? They should probably you know what? They should have made the XISM characters like the CE characters in Hyper Alpha. Slightly less damage, though, obviously. You know, I mean, the CE characters they're retardedly damaging. You know, 3 hits, 50% life. But it should be something similar for the XISM combo, since they can't. You know.
Oh yeah, well, the problem with XISM is it's great to do extra damage, but when none of your normals hit anybody because the normals weren't programmed properly and the hitboxes are all fucked up, it doesn't matter how much damage you do, you're never going to hit anybody. Like I said, the basic gameplay of the game itself is fucked up enough that you can't really play it like a straight-up fighter. You have to find some abusing gimmick that actually does damage and just do that. Because if you just pick XISM, chances are you're going to get fucked up.
By the way, so let me ask you guys a question. Changing the subject. What do you think about this new Capcom fighter called? What is it called? Kenichi?
Yeah.
I never heard of it.
Is it 2D or 3D?
I've heard it's based off an anime.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played the Naruto Gekito Ninja Kaisen for the GameCube?
I've watched my friend, my former roommate play it, Naruto, I think.
Yeah, it's the graphics are kind of like that.
Is it 2D or 3D? Because it looks like, I mean, it looks 3D, but I don't know. Is there something about it that doesn't strike me as it being like Virtual Fight or Tekken or anything like that?
Yeah, from what I've seen, it looks like it's 3 backgrounds, but plays on a 2D plane. There's not much to say right now.
Are the characters rendered like sort of 3D-ish, kind of like in Smash Bros?
I mean, you guys can take a look. I mean, for those of you who don't know the link, it's Capcom, www.capcom. .co.jp / K as in kite ENICHI Capcom.co.jp / KENICHI. Sorry.
It is. Oh my god, I saw anime stuff. It's gonna be horrible. It's all anime.
Of all the games they could do a fighting game on, based off of anime. You know what? You know what I'm surprised that I haven't seen a fighting game for yet? Or a fighting game from? I'm surprised that, as many spin-offs of Final Fantasy VII there have been, I feel like you get to see like a fighting game off of it.
They did one.
Geese.
Oh, they did?
They got one for PlayStation.
Was it any good? No.
Well, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but they got it for PlayStation.
Whatever.
Is it any good or is it garbage?
It's
Crap.
garbage.
I guess it's garbage.
Sad.
It's not even a fighter. It's more like a power stone.
Yeah, you run around, mash buttons, and win.
That sucks.
It's like they were trying to do almost like they took Tobal number 1 and number 2, and they tried to make them like a kiddie game. That's what it was like, and it was horrible. It was so bad, and that's why no one played it. It just sat in the fucking arcade. No one touched it.